of the Fan.
Welcome to this Wednesday matinee edition of Angels Live. Halos wrapping up the homestand, closing things out, looking for a series victory against the Washington Nationals on the heels of another terrific outing from Shohei Ohtani. First pitch comes your way in just a little bit. We're getting you warmed up right here on this edition of Angels Live. Here is what's coming up on the big show. Yes, showtime. He does it once again. We'll take a look back at his night on the mound, making history. Once again, no surprise in his battery mate, Logan O'Hoppe, providing the insurance. We'll take a look at his power behind the plate to start the season through these first 11 games. And welcome back, Griffin Canning, first time on the mound in nearly 2 years. A welcome home for Griffin Canning. Hello and welcome to this edition of Angels Live alongside Mark Gubiza and Garrett Anderson. I'm Erica West and Gooby. Halos hoping to head back east with a series victory, and they're closing it out today after a one-hit shutout against the Nats, and Shohei Ohtani led the way last night.
Great pitching, Erica. Gives you a chance to win every single game. It was one of those low-scoring games. Hey, they pitched well, too. The Nationals, they have so far in this series, but Shohei was magnificent. I mean, maybe a little bit wild, maybe effectively wild as far as his walk total, but still got the strikeouts. And anytime anybody's in scoring position, runners in scoring position, GA, no chance at all. That next level type Shohei shows up.
Yeah, it just lends to his talent. I mean, the night before they had 14 hits, so yeah, he really didn't have his stuff last night, but it's still plus across the board, and he shows why he's as good as he is.
Yep.
Effectively wild is how they say I host the pregame show, so let's hope we get through this one today, maybe with just one hit, as we take a look back at Shohei's night on the bump last night. Gooby, he said he felt really good in the bullpen coming into this one, so he was surprised that he allowed as much as he did, which is funny because it was just one hit.
And right from the get-go, throwing his sweeper there throughout, and he was trying, I think a lot of times he tried to see if he's going to get, especially some younger hitters like the Nationals have in their lineup, to chase early, but they didn't, and then he forced him inside sometimes with his breaking ball, and then eventually got some chases. But he knows when to get that ground ball, and when he needed, got a ground ball double play after. I thought he could have got a punch out the guy before on a check swing, but all those things he puts together. Now, when you look at his last 10 starts, GA, 2 or fewer runs. I mean, that's passing Nolan Ryan's club record. And, you look at his whip. That's even with some walks already this season. His whip total, 0.83. That's hits and walks per 9 innings pitched. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's doing.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling that you can go through a stretch of 10 starts and nobody scores, or you just barely give up a run, because so many things can go wrong. Like last night, he said he really didn't. He felt great, but he just didn't bring his stuff into the game. And every time you pitch, you generally are probably going to have 2 pitches, and when he has a great night, he'll generally carry 3 out there. But it's just stellar.
19 innings so far to start the season, 1 earned run allowed. His ERA .47 to start this season, and I know how much he values starting the season strong, but he said the walks they don't love. I don't really have a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings, Gooby. So once again, he's still wanting to get even better out there.
Yeah, and you look at those numbers too in all those starts. 10 starts, 0 home runs. So you can get away with a walk or 2 during the course of a game if you're not giving up home runs. Otherwise, they're 2 or 3 run home runs, and your team is behind by 2 or 3 runs. So still making the pitch when he needed to. The adjustments he made, that curveball he threw in the middle of the game, we were just laughing. I mean, that's just not right. I mean, you don't throw a curveball like basically the whole game, and you throw one at 72, 73 miles an hour right down the middle of the plate and get a swing and miss like that. That's why he is the unicorn. The adjustments he make. 99-mile-an-hour fastball out of nowhere. He was 93, 94. He did use his 2-seamer a lot more during the course of the game, and then threw some cutters. He's so creative.
GA, I know we talked about the sweeper to Julio Rodriguez last night. He was using the sweeper heavily. He's thrown that sweeper 145 times so far to start the season. Take us through. This is the one we talked about yesterday with Julio, and then you had another one with a different look.
Yeah, that's like a PS5 kind of slider. I mean, a game. It's just when you look at the amount of movement, you just don't see that every day. And just in the backup slider, Gooby and I were talking about it. Not sure if he does it on purpose or not. Or maybe one day I'll ask him if I get a chance to. But it's just a pitch that you really can't. It's just really hard to hit. And last night he was exclusively throwing it. I kept waiting for fastballs. If I was hitting off of him, I'd be like, okay, when are you going to throw me a fastball? And he just never did.
Yeah, I mean, that backup slider, too, as a hitter, you're reading, you're anticipating that slider going down and away, especially as a right-handed batter. But it backs up in the inside part of the plate. It frees you, even though that pitch, most times, when you're a pitcher, believe me, I backed up some bases or I got a new baseball. Usually, if I ever did that, it was definitely out of the ballpark. But for whatever reason, because Shohei, they anticipate that down and away action, if it backs up, they're still freezing on it.
Gooby, I wouldn't be surprised if one of us did ask him if it was intentional, if he said yes, because just about everything is with him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how, but the thing is, to be so comfortable to do that in game action. Hey, we all do that stuff in bullpen sessions or flat ground work, but you don't do that in a game because you don't get that baseball back, or it's a line drive back at you, and that's one thing you don't want to have happen.
And he had the support of his backstop with Logan O'Hoppe, who was really impressive. Once again, the insurance with that home run in the 6th inning. I don't know how much else we can say about the start that Logan O'Hoppe has had to start the season, GA, because he handles the staff so well. He's so poised back there, and it takes a lot when you're catching a guy like Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, he hasn't started the season off like a typical rookie. There's usually some bumps in the road or whatnot, and they usually try to bring rookies on a little slower. But, you know, with the status of the Sassy not being around, he's carrying most of the load, and he's backing up. You know, he's hitting home runs. He's leading the team right now. I don't know how long that'll last, but it's just nice to see him doing things, the stuff that he's been built to do. It's nice to actually see it happen.
You got to be slugging .677 in the catching position. Your first job really is to handle the pitching staff, especially when you're catching Shohei Ohtani. Now, he's caught him 3 times already this season. And then do the things he's doing offensively, you know it's there. Those numbers in the minor leagues, although sometimes that doesn't translate into the major league level, but what he's doing as far as his power numbers, that fastball upstairs, he's going to make a good pass at. He's going to hit it hard, but he's also hit breaking pitches, and he's comfortable in the batter's box. But I love what he's doing behind the plate, because when you get Shohei Ohtani to navigate through a game when you walk 5 guys and still don't give up no runs in 7 innings, you got to give a lot of credit to the catcher, and that's Logan O'Hoppe.
Gooby said, GA said on the postgame show last night about that graphic, take a picture because it might not last long. You might not be at the top of that list.
Run out there and just send it all over social media.
Right?
It'll stay out there for a while.
Take a snapshot of that one for sure. But again, he's pretty level-headed about the whole situation too, which is more than you would have asked for a rookie catcher coming into the situation. Just how even keel he is about his success, and even the days that he's not playing so great.
Yeah, I know something about being even keel, so I can totally relate to
Why
him.
do you think I asked
it
you?
translates. It definitely translates into his play, and he looks very comfortable up there as a rookie. It's impressive, and it's nice to see.
When you talk about even keel like that, GA, I mean, how does that help you as far as that way if a pitcher's on a roll, or if you're struggling a bit, how does that allow you to make sure you're in the same focus as far as hitting everything right away?
Well, you just don't let the emotions get involved. You know, you got to be realistic. You can't get a hit every time. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes. So I really didn't like to get too high because I knew some downtime was coming. So I just didn't want that fall. I wanted a soft landing.
He is back in the lineup today, day game after night game. Gooby, are you surprised to see him back out there today?
Yes, I actually made my lineup. I had Matt Thaiss in there thinking even it was going to be lefty versus lefty. I thought he'd be in the lineup today, but you know, Ruiz for the Nationals, he's back in there too. I think when you're a younger catcher and you've caught so many games at the minor league level, you want to be out there as much as possible, especially when you're swinging the bat the way he is right now, and get an opportunity to catch Griffin Canning today is going to be special for Logan too. So it's going to be a learning process with him, because Canning is one of those thinkers on the mound. So this is going to be fun to see how this goes.
And GA, I think a lot of him being back out there day game after night game, we know he's young, so it's not like he needs the rest. But again, these games are shorter. Things are maybe a little different this year.
Yeah, they are. And Nevin touched on it last night, that he's caught a lot in the minor leagues, and especially down in the South where it's really hot.
Sure.
It's not hot today, so it'll be a nice cloud cover. So, but now he's a young player. That's the first thing come to my mind. Young player, he should play and get the bulk of the time.
Yeah, they're turning the heat down on us today to prep me and Gooby for the East Coast road trip. Maybe some sprinkles will fall out there today. Hopefully nothing crazy. Stay with us. We're just getting warmed up, literally, on this pregame edition of Angels Live. Griffin Canning makes his long-awaited return to the bump for the first time in over 600 days. We'll take a look at his previewing his outing today on Valley Sports.
What players love the most about intentional time?
Kevin's highlights, the interviews, the got heaves.
Yes! Intentional time, the show baseball players love to watch, only on MLB Network.
I'ma do what? That's on me. I'm a young boy, but I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do what? That's on me. I'm a young boy, but I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Don't want that stuff, but that's on me. Build the house, I got the keys. They say you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way. on MLB Network.
The Big A in just a little bit. This Wednesday matinee, Nationals and the Angels hoping to send them back east with another series victory. And Griffin Canning, the local kid from Orange County, makes his long-awaited return to the mound. Reinstated yesterday. Andrew Wance was optioned to make room for Griffin Canning on the bump. And for a local guy, Gooby, I gotta imagine he's pretty excited about this return. Although if you asked him the other day, he said, "Oh, it's fine. It is. I'm ready."
Erica G, I mean, you know you're going to be amped up, and that's the big thing, especially the first inning. You want to try to be able to take that deep breath. That is going to be so important because you're going to be overthrowing some pitches probably early on. Even though you can have a perfect session warming up, we saw Shohei said the same thing. He felt great. When you get out on that mound, you're in front of all the fans here. You have a lot of friends and family here. But he threw the ball really well in spring training. Even in his rehab assignment, he threw the ball exceptionally well. Just watching his bullpen sessions this spring training, there was something special about him. I mean, he's 92, 97. His slider's excellent, curveball, changeup. He knows exactly what he wants to do on the mound. Just like Shohei Ohtani, he's a thinker. He knows that he's setting up hitters really, really well. And I hope that game plan, obviously talking with Logan O'Hoppe before, goes into effect and he needs to go out there and dominate.
His stuff plays, GA. You know he is ready to see how it looks against a major league lineup. First time in 649 days.
Yeah, I kind of know how long that is. I ordered my refrigerator for my remodel during 2021. So, yeah, I know how long it's been. But no, it's nice to see him back on the. It's nice to see him back on the mound, and his stuff is good across the board. So I'm sure he's anxious and just to get back going again and just show why, how good he was when he was healthy.
So let's get a refresh about Griffin Canning, ready to come back again July 2nd, 2021. That was the last time we saw him on a major league mound. He made 41 starts with the Halos from 19 to 21. Gooby, he also won a Gold Glove in 2020. You probably don't mention that enough.
I mean, he's an exceptional fielding his position. He's quick as far as his pickoff moves at first. This is a team, the Nationals, even though 4 stolen bases have been called 4 times, they've been aggressive, especially in game 1 of the series. He's going to be out there working on make sure they don't get those extra bases. So that's a big part of his game, too. And you look at those strikeout totals, more strikeouts than innings pitched. So he has that in him. But it goes down to right now is it's not overthrown, especially early in the game, and to be able to keep that stamina, get up to 90 to 100 pitches during the course of the game. With that kind of pitch total, you should be able to get into the 6th inning, maybe even closer to 7th inning, I think, with his pitch total.
That's what I was going to mention, GA. Phil Nevin said yesterday they don't really have any limitations on him. I know some of the guys, Reed, Sandy, they're ready to go, push it at 100, maybe probably not today for Griffin, but he's going to be up there ready to go 80, 90 pitches or so.
Well, yeah, he got a full spring training, and it's only been a few weeks, so you really don't lose anything, and he's been working on the side as well. So, yeah, get 100 pitches in a rehab start, he's going to be ready.
He did. He had 10 punch-outs in that rehab start against low A. So what does that arsenal look like, Google?
Well, yeah, take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. He will have some good fastball. I mean, his slider is a pitch where he'll go to. Anytime he's ahead of the count, he will run that slider going down the way. He'll throw his 4-seam fastball, strictly a 4-seam fastball throughout, and his changeup is solid. Curveball he'll throw in there, especially lefties. Take a look at that StatCast 3D. What he'll throw. You see that 4-seam fastball, generally that upper part of the strike zone, and the percentage he threw it. But his slider's the pitch. I always feel when there's a big moment scenario coming up for Griffin Canning, it's a slider he'll go to, and he's got a swing and miss slider. Same thing with his curveball too. But his changeup, I think, is a pitch going forward. Could be very effective against left-handed batters.
Is that something that he's going to kind of have to tinker with? Because, again, it's been a long time since he's faced major league hitters in a game.
And again, he's one of those guys, too, like Shohei Ohtani. He's going to read the hitters and you see what the footwork is, where they're on the plate, if they're going backing up. If he's throwing a lot of 4-seam fastballs and sliders, they're going to be geared up to harder stuff, so that curveball and changeup should come into play. And he's really, like I said, a thinker on the mound. He'll make those adjustments.
Well, it feels like it did at spring training as far as the weather is concerned. He'll feel right at home. GA, this is how cold it was down there in Arizona. But again, he looked really good out there. So I'm sure, you know, the groin injury that he had when they started the season with him on the injured list, it really wasn't significant. It was just something that they wanted to monitor. So again, he's got the confidence from the outings he had in spring training to this one today.
Yeah, that was the time to do it. If it was serious, he wouldn't be back right now at all anyway. So just look for him to have a great start today and just get back to doing the things that he does.
I got to imagine, even though he said the other day, it is what it is. He's going to have his friends, family in the seats. There's absolutely going to be some nerves involved, right?
Yes, I mean, it never is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, as cool as GA was and is still to this day, you still have to have a little nerves going on, especially when you haven't been out there in such a long period of time, especially when you are from the area and you want to go out there and perform. You were an Angel fan growing up, so you want to go out there and do something special here today.
Not to mention that would give them an opportunity to win another series before they head back out east against the Boston Red Sox and the Yankees. Gooby, thanks so much. Have a great call today.
Yes, looking forward to it.
We will see you soon. All right, stay with us. More to come. We're talking Halos backstop Logan O'Hoppe. He's been hammering it with bat. Stay with us on Valley Sports.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off flare!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
To Angels Live, Nats and Halos. Logan O'Hoppe, maybe he'll go yard again today like he did last night. How about that swing by the Halos backstop? R. Kent French and Denny Hawking break it down for the young Halos catcher.
90 at 30. That is the site of this edition of Angels Weekly. We are in Tustin. This is the happy place of one Denny Hawking. This is where he creates magic and talks about how to create that perfect swing. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. As we're going to call this Studio 7. I think that's a little bit better. And if you don't understand what that is, again, look it up, people. Stay with us. Logan O'Hoppe, though, what a story he has been so far for the Angels. Coming in, his first opening day start, 6 RBI over the weekend, has the Angels' first RBI in each of the first 3 games. And he caught Shohei Ohtani, by the way, on opening night. How impressive has the young man been so far?
He's been super impressive. You know, I would anticipate, looking at what he's had to endure so far, he's trying to make the team in spring training. He makes the team. He gets the opening day nod. The butterflies must have been swarming in his stomach. But you know what? He pulled through. It's one of those times where you look out there and you're like, okay, let's just sit there and hang some zeros and give ourselves a chance to win. But he's also, he can't just do it on the defensive side. He's got to do it in the matters box as well.
And that's what we're going to focus on right now. And Denny, you spent a lot of time in Tempe for spring training. And you saw Logan make an adjustment that really helped him and translated into success over the weekend. Please break it down for us.
So when I got a chance to go out and see Logan O'Hoppe in spring training, you know, I think you looked at him and you said, this is what he did in the off season. So he came into spring training with his swing, and as you start to don't get as much work as a catcher, you don't get to the cage as much and all that. I think when he's taking his at-bats, he just kind of had a little bit of a flaw. And kudos to him for recognizing it. Kudos to the Angels coaching staff to be able to notice it as well and just make the slight adjustment. Here's what I'm talking about. So early on in spring, I focus when I'm focused on Logan O'Hoppe is the piping, the red stripe on his pants. So he would stand in here and he would just leak a little bit. When you're leaking this front side, almost pulling you this way, what you're doing is, one, you're losing plate coverage with your eyes on the outer half. The other thing that you're doing is you're really cheating to this ball. Now, if he got some balls inner half in spring training, hit them really well. But if you have a hole in your swing in the big leagues, the advanced scout that sits back there, he will find it and they will expose you. So I think it was one of those things where he just didn't feel 100% right. Made a huge adjustment. And where I noticed it, Frenchie, was he had 2 strikes on him. So as he was up to bat, and then he wound up shortening his stride, what that allowed him to do is allowed him to stay square to the plate, square to the baseball, and he was able to cover a ball. It was a slider outer half, something in this area, and he gets an RBI single through the middle. And it was interesting because when I noticed that he hit first base and he kind of gave and that may have been that light bulb that went off, and I think a conversation goes back. Kudos to him for being able to stay a little bit tighter, a little bit more closed for that coverage on the outer half. When you can do that, now the opposing team says, man, where can we throw the ball to get this guy out?
Great stuff on Studio 7 as we broke down Logan O'Hoppe. Hopefully continued success here at the major league level. But now it is that time for another answer to our question, what was the best part, or what is the best part about opening day for you? And we got another great one from Mike on Twitter. He says it's all about the flyover. That's part of the pageantry we talked about earlier, but I am going to go to the stealth bomber. You and I were just talking about it. When those things fly over, it looks like they are going to scrape the top of the stadium. They are so loud. I mean, it sends a chill through your body, man. That is truly a great moment.
I mean, I can sit there and look at that tweet and then say, man, I can remember standing on that line and facing this direction. You're looking for the Jets, and all of a sudden they come this way. It kind of makes you flinch.
Thanks so much for Mike for sending that in, and we will actually have another answer coming up here in just a little bit, but we're going to take a timeout. When we do come back, it is the top 10 plays of the week. You're not going to want to miss it, so don't go anywhere.
Wondering how you stack up? Well, get ready to bring your best stuff to MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Sign up for free for a chance to play your way to the 2023 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals at the World Series. Visit pitchhitrun.com today.
I'ma do what? That's on me. We young boy, but I keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do what? That's on me. We young boy, but I keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Didn't want that stuff, but that's on me. Put the house up, got the keys to say you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
season long. The day after the Angels win at home, fans can redeem free medium fries with a $1 minimum purchase at participating SoCal McDonald's. All you have to do is download and register on the McDonald's app. All right, first pitch coming your way in just a few moments as we take a look at Phil Nevin's lineup for the finale against the Nats. And Brett Phillips at the bottom there, GA. He's getting the start in center field. His first start for the Halos this season. A different look for them today. Get somebody else in the lineup.
Yeah, you get Ohtani off his feet, and with Phillips, it's a tough lineup to crack, so take advantage of when the time you're out there.
It really is. It also gives Trouty a chance to get off his feet, too. He is DHing today. No surprise, though. Phil Nevin said that the guys are probably going to get some days on this next road trip because after tomorrow, they have 17 straight games without a day off. So important to get Trouty off of his feet today while still being impactful with the bat.
Yeah, that's pretty early in the season to play that many. Usually they wait till more in the middle of the summer, but I guess with the new schedule, they got to try to fit them in the way they can. But it's 17 in a row. That's a lot.
Hey, don't have to remind me.
Yeah, I guess you're there too.
Keys for the Halos today. Close out a series victory real quick.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Give me one. Good start from Canning. We'll go for that,
yeah,
right?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, GA. Good stuff. Thanks for joining us on this pregame edition of Angels Live. First pitch moments away. Wayne Randazzo, Mark Gubaza have the call. Hey, maybe the Kubota will make an appearance today in support of Canning. First game back. Thanks for watching. We'll see you after.
A threat on the mound and a threat at the plate. Former MVP Shohei Ohtani. The American League single-season home run king, reigning MVP Aaron Judge. Their first matchup of the season happens right here on MLB Network. Get can't-miss coverage all week as TV's best baseball analysts break it all down. Ohtani versus Judge, all next week on MLB Network.
What do baseball players love the most about intentional time?
Kevin's highlights, the interviews, the got heaves.
Yes! Intentional time, the show baseball players love to watch, only on MLB Network.
Pop in today and say hello to Del Taco.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last.
Day baseball in Southern California. It's a beautiful thing. We'll get a nice breath of fresh air today for the finale of this three-game series between the Angels and the Washington Nationals. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Wayne Randazzo, joined by Mark Gubazon. Gooby, a chance for the Angels to win this series, get above 500 going to Boston.
Yeah, you want to have that momentum going. It's always a tough time going to Fenway Park and then Yankee Stadium after that. But a well-pitched game by Shohei Ohtani. Once again, it's 1 hit and 7 shutout innings. It gives you an opportunity to win a series here today.
Yeah, Shohei has been brilliant over his last 10 starts, 2 runs allowed or fewer. That's a new Angels record, surpassing Nolan Ryan last night.
Wayne, when you pass Nolan Ryan for any record, that's outstanding. And what he has done those last 10 starts, I mean, he was able to go through this game, especially early on. He was a little bit wild, effectively wild in a game. That sweep early on wasn't in the zone, but anytime you could throw a curveball at 73 as the game progresses like he did, but also throw 99 miles an hour, use his sinker during the course of the game. 7 shutout innings, just 1 hit allowed with 6 strikeouts. Did have those 5 walks, but always made that pitch when he needed to. When you go back, you mentioned that stretch he's been on the last 10 starts, 2 or fewer earned runs allowed in that stretch. 7.1 ERA, under 1, 0 home runs allowed in an era where there's a lot of home runs hit. Last 10 starts, and a whip of 0.83 with those walks in his game, still less than 1 per inning.
Well, Shohei has been fabulous, but we'll see Griffin Canning on the mound today. First time in 649 days that Canning will have pitched in a major league game. I'm sure he's excited to get out there.
No, he's going to be amped up, especially pitching here at home. He's had a really good spring training and even a good rehab assignment where he was throwing 92, 97, his slider, which has always been his out pitch, curveball, and changeup. I love the way he threw the baseball, even his bullpen sessions. That short arm delivery is that deception, hides the baseball well, averaging that stretch of over a strikeout per innings pitch. So he has that kind of stuff. Hopefully he's under control as far as his emotions.
Angels trying to win 2 out of 3 against the Washington Nationals, make this an even homestand before they hit the road, going out east to Boston and New York for the next couple of series. It's a day game here in Southern California. The Big A will have the Angels and the Nationals coming up. Presented by Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile in a brand new Hyundai. By OC Healthcare Agency. Build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. And by your local Southern California Cadillac dealers. Back on the mound for the first time since July of 2021, Griffin Canning leaves the Angels onto the field.
Oh, it's got to be a thrill for him. A hometown boy, big Angel fan growing up. He threw the ball so well in spring training. You knew he just had that feel about it. Even his bullpen sessions, really comfortable now with his mechanics and how he's feeling health-wise. And he should have a really solid game here today. And my go-tos for Griffin Canning to have that big game today is slow the game down. Obviously, you're going to have that adrenaline going. You might have a tendency to overthrow early on, but just slow it down enough that downward tilt on his slider. It's a very good swing and miss pitch for him where he gets a majority of his strikeouts with his slider. So hopefully he'll be under control with that one.
The Washington Nationals will have Alex Call leading off, then Candelario bats second. Joey Meneses has been quiet in this series. Luis Garcia hasn't played at all. He's back in the lineup. He's been dealing with a hamstring issue, so Garcia gets in there. And then Abrams and Robles, a lot of speed in the bottom of the Washington order against Griffin Canning here this afternoon. Griffin Canning out of Santa Margarita Catholic High School, one-time Orange County Register Pitcher of the Year. Then he went to UCLA, a second-round pick. Grew up an Angels fan in the Angels organization. And this hometown kid finally back on a big league mound, had the stress fracture in his back, missed all that time with the back problem, then a little bit of a groin injury to start this season. But Canning quickly off the IL and excited to be out there. He's got his new regimen with the Pilates. His back is feeling good. He doesn't think he'll have any more issues, so we'll see how he looks today against Washington.
Big believer in the Pilates, especially when you have back issues, especially as a pitcher, because you put a lot of pressure on that back as far as the delivery and the torque you will throw when you deliver the baseball.
Alex Call stands in as we get things started for the finale of this series and homestand, the opening homestand for the Angels this year. And Griffin Canning's first pitch, 94 miles an hour, but it missed upstairs. Call hits it pretty well. That's Brett Phillips getting his first start in center field, and he makes the catch as he tracks onto the warning track in left center field.
Must have known we were going to talk about him and highlight him on the defensive side. 16 outfield assists in his career. You got Ward in left field, Renfroe in right field, but Brett Phillips out in center with an outstanding read on that one. Great angle he took to run that one down. You got Rendon, Urshela, Rengifo, Drury back at first base, and Logan O'Hoppe after a night game back behind the plate in the day game.
Jamer Candelario, the batter, switch hitter, hits left-handed against Canning. Good pitch there by Canning, the slider, to get his first swing and miss.
That's so big to get that first batter out too when you haven't been out there in so long. Your first pitch is out of the strike zone, but then you have your center fielder running down a ball like that. It's a good feeling for you on the mound.
July 2nd, 2021, the last time Griffin Canning pitched in a major league game. Missed the final 2 months of that season and all of last year. So they had that same issue in college with the lower back problems.
It's a pretty good changeup, an 89-mile-an-hour changeup with some movement. There's not a huge separation in the speed of his changeup and his fastball, but that one has that sink action as compared to his four-seam fastball, which is relatively straight in the upper part of the zone.
Gets the upper part of the zone there with a strike, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jamer Candelario, the former Detroit Tiger. Candelario came up in the Cubs organization. They didn't have any room for him then. That was still when the Cubs were in the process of a good run, maybe the best run in franchise history, including their 2016 title.
It's a slider. Usually with 2 strikes and he's trying to get a swing and miss, he'll go to his slider. He gets excellent spin rate. I mean, that's one thing I saw in spring training, because that's what all the pitchers were working on, just checking out the different spin they would get on their pitches, and it was really increased quite a bit since the last time we saw him on the major league mound.
Candelario gets hit in the foot, and he'll hop his way toward first base as Canning hits Candelario with a pitch, so the Nationals have their first base runner.
Well, how often have we seen already in the early part of the year where we've seen pitchers throw those hard breaking balls and hit batters in their foot, either front foot or back foot? It happened in the game just the other day for Reed Devers against Vlad Guerrero Jr.
The Nationals only had one hit yesterday, but they had a lot of base runners. First time the Angels had thrown a one-hit shutout at Angel Stadium since June 5th, 2018 against the Royals, what they did last night.
That's one of those things too, Wayne, where you get caught up in some of the base runners. You almost didn't even realize that was it. It was the one hit allowed. Abrams got that double off of Shohei.
Ohtani allowed one hit in 7 innings. Then Quijada pitched the 8th. Estevez the 9th. It's kind of how you draw it up. Just have your starter go deep, hand it to your better relievers, and call it a night.
Yep. Great for Carlos Estevez to get his first career save as an Angel last night. Looked really good, and he had a big smile on his face today when he went out playing catch earlier with his bullpen mates.
Dominic Smith strikes out swinging, and there's the first punch out in a long time for Griffin Canning.
Already 3 really good changeups, and he got a swing and miss on a changeup. Very difficult. You mentioned this a couple different times how tough it is to strike out Dominic Smith, but a changeup there. Great action at 90 miles an hour.
The Nationals in general have been one of the tougher teams to strike out, 4th fewest in the major leagues. And now the first strikeout for Canning in about a year and 9 months. Here's Joey Meneses. He swings through a high fastball.
A 4-seam fastball has action above the strike zone. Usually you see him throw his changeup more to left-handed batters, sliders a lot more to right-handed batters.
Good lead at first for Candelario. Neither of these teams runs a lot. Washington doesn't hit many homers either. They've only stolen 4 bases while hitting 5 home runs. That's tied for the fewest number of homers in the major leagues with Cleveland.
And Canning's really good as far as slowing down a running game. He's got a quick move. He's got 6 career pickoffs. He's got a Gold Glove under his belt already, one in 2020. So he fields his position well, but he's really good as far as stopping an opponent's running game.
Only the second Angels pitcher ever to win a Gold Glove. The other is in the radio booth, Mark Langston. Ness is trying to hold up. He did.
Yeah, he's been getting pretty good spin on his slider. Before that one, it was 26.78, well above average as far as spin rate.
Meneses cracks one pretty deep toward left center. Brett Phillips a long run in the gap. He's there, and he makes the catch to end the inning. A scoreless first. Welcome back, Griffin Canning.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
To get your best night's sleep, you need to sleep in something extraordinary. Woven with a silky softness unlike any other. From organic threads that are slow spun and finished in flame. Made from an ingredient so rare, less than 1% of the world's cotton meets our quality. It's the most extraordinary fabric ever made. Only from Boll and Branch.
top. Mike Trout hitting second. Shohei Ohtani gets a well-deserved day off today. So Rendon's hitting third. Trout's actually the DH today. And Brett Phillips getting his first start of the year. He'll get his first at-bat of the season today as he bats in the 9th spot for the Halos. Don't forget Logan O'Hoppe, the team leader in homers and RBIs. He's batting 8th.
Yeah, that's pretty good when you have their number 8 or usually number 9 hitter leading the team. And MacKenzie Gore, really, really good stuff. So off to a great start for the Nationals this year. 92-97 with his fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, a very, very good curveball.
No Nationals pitcher has ever won the first 3 starts of his career with the team. Gore will try to do that. Washington has this habit of including the Montreal Expos records with their franchise history sometimes, which I completely disagree with.
Not even with Steve Rogers back in the Expo days?
Well, there have been a few Expos who've done it. Ross Grimsley, Randy Johnson, and Jimmy Jones. But these aren't the Montreal Expos. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ward. They've been the Washington Nationals now for almost 20 years.
Yes.
You leave your city, you change your name, you change your identity, then that's it. You're not the Expos. I don't want to see that. 3 balls, 1 strike on Taylor Ward.
How often do you see a pitcher with the number 1? You better have a good fastball.
It was weird writing it. Some pitchers wear 0.
Now, that makes sense. You want 0 earned runs.
Ball 4 to Taylor Ward, and now MacKenzie Gore has faced 1 batter, and he's issued 1 walk.
That's a 7th walk already this season, 11 in the 3rd innings pitched. Although he has 12 strikeouts, he's got good stuff. Big time prospect for the Padres, went over in the Juan Soto trade.
Mike Trout looks at a strike. One thing for MacKenzie Gore last year when he was still with the Padres, their walks did creep up on him. He would have command issues, and suddenly he would allow big innings. Trout just missed that one, pops it up. C.J. Abrams, the shortstop, to retire Mike Trout, 1 away.
My go-to is to be successful against MacKenzie Gore this afternoon, where the baseball could have a chance, even a cooler day, to travel, is bang those hanging sliders. Occasionally let that slider upstairs, and that's where you got to have some success against them. 333 with a home run against that, but also you got to catch that curveball at the high arc, because if you chase that below the strike zone, it's going to be a difficult pitch to make contact. 46.2% whiff percentage versus his curveball, so you got to catch it at the higher arc.
There's a lot of fastballs too. There's one that almost got away. Nearly 60% of his pitches so far in the big leagues have been fastballs. Facing Rendon, who bats 3rd today, with Ohtani getting a breather.
Just to keep an eye on Mike Trout, how he stays active as a DH role. The numbers are significantly lower from the DH role for Trouty. Always in the action, being involved in the center field position. Real good numbers when he plays the position, but DH has been a difficult one for him.
It's really just a necessity in both cases for Trout, off his feet today in center field, and for Shohei not in the lineup at all. You know, the next off day for this team after tomorrow is May 1st. There's a big stretch of games coming up consecutively for this team. And it's a long season.
This is where I think the pitch timer really helps out. So you're not on your feet as long. When you have a stretch like that with no off days, if you're playing a lot of those and you're playing in 3.5, 4-hour games, that's even more difficult. But 2:30 changes everything up.
That's a good point. We have not seen game times this short, this consistently in the big leagues since 1984. And we don't really know how it's going to feel in July and August after all the games have built up and all the time has been spent on the field. If guys are going to feel significantly fresher in that time of the season than usual. Ground ball hit well up the middle, but Abrams able to grab it, gets it to second for 1, and Garcia turns it for a double play to end the bottom of the 1st. No score after 1.
Oh. Yes! Yes! Finally.
The search for high-quality meat ends here. With ButcherBox, you get 100% grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Sourced from partners who believe in doing things the right way. Together, we can make a difference, one meal at a time. Sign up today at butcherbox.com for a special offer.
To pitch in the 7th inning last night, the Halos had 24 instances in which their starter went 7 or more innings. They were 21-3 in those games, so certainly speaks to success when your starter can get deep into those ball games. But Shohei wanted more from that outing last night against the Nats. He said afterwards, you look at the results on paper, haven't really had a bunch of 1, 2, 3 innings. Feels like the only issues really is the walks, but he felt really good in that bullpen, so he didn't think he would give up as much as he did. Still always trying to continue to get better, so a hard-earned off day for Shohei today. He is available. His next outing on the mound will come Monday morning in Boston. That is Marathon Monday. That's an 8 a.m. Pacific start. Gooby, if there's anybody who can gear up for that, it's that guy.
Yeah, I mean, his work habits, and he loves his sleep. He'll figure out a way to be able to get the proper amount of sleep, even though it's a 3-hour time change from here to the Boston East Coast time. But in an early morning game, but Shohei will be the perfect guy to figure that one out.
With the walks yesterday, 5 of them, he was still very economical. He threw about 90 pitches or so in his 7 innings. Keibert Ruiz biting on that good changeup from Canning. He's had a good one to start the day here. But to have that low number of pitches and go that deep in the game while walking a handful of batters shows that when he was in the strike zone, he was really tough to hit last night. Ruiz reaches down to poke that one into center. It's a base hit.
And here's today's pitching decisions presented by Sage Technical Services. And what he threw that pitch arsenal back when you go back to 2021 season, 41% four-seam fastballs, 27% slider, 21% changeup. He's thrown quite a few changeups already today against the lefties, 11% curveball. Went back-to-back changeups to Ruiz. The first one was a good one. That one he timed it a little bit better.
Luis Garcia back in the lineup for Washington. He's missed the last few games with a hamstring injury. Bounce to Rendon, who was in on the grass. Late to cover at second base is Rengifo, but at least the Angels get an out there. And Garcia runs well, even though he's nursing that hamstring. Maybe the Angels would have a chance for a double play there, but maybe a little bit of confusion at second base on who should be taking that throw from Rendon.
That's a good decision by Rendon. A lot of times as an infield, you're already throwing it towards the base. He was able to look up to make sure he was able to catch Rengifo. That's what you talk about as communication infielders, but that's always the second baseman's coverage at second on a ground ball to third base, but a little bit late on the coverage. I don't know if we're going to turn double plays.
Gonna have a pitch clock violation on Canning. Give the guy a break. He hasn't pitched in almost 2 years. They didn't have that then.
That was really, really close. You need that NFL rule right there. But also right in the middle of a delivery like that too. That's a tough one. It's a tough one for the home plate umpire to do that. Get that little buzzer saying, okay, he's past the time he's supposed to deliver the baseball.
Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire today. If anyone has any grievances, now's the time to air them. Or on Festivus.
Yeah.
Let it out.
Yes.
2 balls, 1 strike on Lane Thomas, who bats with Garcia at first. Bounce to short, handled by Urshela, and the Angels turn 2 to end the top of the second. Griffin Canning shakes off a leadoff hit. No runs through 2.
Wondering how you stack up? Well, get ready to bring your best stuff to MLB Pitch Hit and Run, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Sign up for free for a chance to play your way to the 2023 Pitch Hit and Run Finals at the World Series. Visit pitchhitrun.com today.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big-name guests.
Very special guest hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans
and baseball players wake up to.
Show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
What do baseball players love the most about intentional time?
Kevin's highlights, the interviews, the got heaves.
Yes! Intentional time. The show baseball players love to watch. Only on MLB Network.
Our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. The hot zones for Renfroe so far. You go upstairs, middle of the plate, he's going to cover. Same thing, middle, away, down and in also. It's a tougher time with that up and in and up and away pitches, but he's jumping on anything elevated right now. And he's been hitting the ball extremely hard. Early in the season, a number of those pitches were getting in on the hands of Hunter Renfroe, but he's made that adjustment. Everything has been hit hard since.
Well, the numbers have followed. This has been a good homestand for Renfroe. A new home for him, something he's certainly used to. He's been on 4 different teams over the last 5 years, but he's a useful player wherever he goes. There's another hard hit ball. C.J. Abrams couldn't reach that. That's a base hit for Hunter Renfroe. We've talked a lot about the shift affecting left-handed batters, but that might have been an instance where no shift helped a right-handed batter.
No doubt about that one, Wayne, too. That's another one of those pitches. It was up middle, but it's above the strike zone, but that hot zone for him. You see how hard he hits it. There it is again. You see those numbers. Middle up. That was middle, but a little bit above the strike zone, but jumped all over. Anything elevated, he's been hitting hard.
Well, Hunter Renfroe on to start the second. Angels have their first hit. Luis Rengifo looks at a strike from MacKenzie Gore. Here's Gore's slider that he likes to throw to the back foot of a right-handed batter, different from the curveball. There it is again, but Rengifo laid off. How do you feel about Luis adjusting to not really it's not a part-time role necessarily, but kind of half and half, where he's going to be in the lineup some days and not others?
And he wants to play every day, like most players want to play every day. But I think with him, with his timing, the more at bats he gets in a consecutive streak of games, the better he's going to be, because he's not chasing necessarily.
That ball off the gear of Ruiz bounced back toward the pitcher, so Renfroe didn't have a chance to advance. We've talked a lot about the depth of the Angels offense, so a guy like Rengifo Helps that he's versatile. When this team is healthy, he's still not going to be necessarily an everyday player. In there today against the lefty. And Rengifo strikes out as that pitch fell right out of the zone.
And my Hyundai key for the game today, going a little Morgan Whalen today. I know you love your country music there, Wayne. One thing at a time. That means pitch well, field the baseball well, and get those good timely hits to be able to give Griffin Canning an opportunity to pick up that W today. First game back since July of 2021, and give the team a chance to win a series before going back east against the Red Sox and Yankees.
We found that particular singer, what's his name, Morgan Whalen?
Yes.
He was here yesterday, and you said you were going to pretend like you knew that, and then I said I was going to pretend like I knew who he was.
Yes, that's pretty cool. He's at the game yesterday. And I know you know.
Now I know.
Yes.
Hey, you learn something new every day.
As well you should.
Brandon Drury back in the lineup at first base today. Had some defensive issues at first base the other night. A couple of runs scored when Drury made some decisions either to throw to a different base or just hold the ball while a run was trying to score. Certainly a learning experience for him in that game a couple of nights ago. Drury swings through a fastball up in the zone from MacKenzie Gore, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for the young left-hander.
You know, as far as that length in the lineup, you just need to get Rengifo and Drury going. Once you get them going, and they will, it becomes an even more dangerous lineup. Especially that pitch there for Drury. It was a fastball to elevate it, part of the strike zone. He usually jumps on that one really, really well.
Here's Urshela. Gore bends that one at the top of the zone. Urshela's off to a nice start, hitting .350, just smacking line drives everywhere. He's hit the ball well to the opposite field in the early part of the year. There's another line drive and a base hit for Urshela. Renfroe thinking about third, will hold at second. Robles has a good arm. 2 hits in the inning, and the Angels have 2 on for their top RBI man so far, Logan O'Hoppe.
And Urshela has hit so many baseballs so hard back up the middle throughout this entire early part of the season. That means his timing is perfect right now. Letting the baseball get deeper, whether it's a fastball or a secondary pitch between center, left center, right center. Most of his hits that way.
O'Hoppe's got 4 home runs. He's driven in 10 to begin the year. A chance to give the Angels the early lead against Gore. Likes those high fastballs, takes that one for a strike.
And you've taken away that potential high fastball for Gore. He throws that 4-seamer upstairs quite a bit.
4 home runs in 11 games, the most ever by an Angels rookie at this time in the year. Ground ball just foul. That was close.
That ball was hit hard. By the way, that single by Urshela, that was a little over 105 miles per hour exit velocity. So he continues to hit the ball well. Same thing with Renfroe at 104.
There's strike 3 called as O'Hoppe goes down looking. The Angels strand 2 in the second.
A threat on the mound and a threat at the plate. Former MVP Shohei Ohtani. The American League single-season home run king. Reigning MVP Aaron Judge. Their first matchup of the season happens right here on MLB Network. Get can't-miss coverage all week as TV's best baseball analysts break it all down. Ohtani versus Judge, all next week on MLB Network. Sunday, on the next episode of MLB's Carded, join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
22nd, your Halos take on the Royals at 6 p.m. The first 25,000 fans will receive a Shohei Ohtani shirt courtesy of Gung Ho Online Entertainment. For more info, visit angels.com/promotions.
That's great. Smile on their face, ready. Got the gloves with them.
Day baseball at the Big A as Griffin Canning starts C.J. Abrams off with a strike. Abrams, the very young shortstop of the Nationals. Ground ball to Gio Urshela. His counterpart at short throws him out, and there's one away in the third for Canning.
All of a sudden now finding that ground ball action here. And since the first inning with a strikeout and couple fly ball outs to center field to Brett Phillips, who ran them down.
Well, so far so good for Canning. First time through the order. Victor Robles will be the batter.
That'll wake you up in the dugout.
Well, it's day game, you know.
They're like, no, it's the other way.
No balls, 2 strikes on Robles as Griffin Canning gets ahead. Robles, a young outfielder who's been around for a few years, trying to bust out. Kind of like Jared Kelenic of the Seattle Mariners, who has hit home runs now in 3 straight days. His home run today at Wrigley Field was 482 feet, hit into the center field bleachers above the batter's eye.
There's been some home runs. It must be blown out pretty good there in Chicago. There was a lot of home runs yesterday, too.
Seems like the ball's flying in some places early in the season that it doesn't ordinarily. I don't know if that's just, you never know what kind of baseball you're getting either from year to year. I don't know if there's another rabbit ball somewhere. It doesn't seem like it's here, though. The ball has not carried exceptionally well in this ballpark. There have been some homers here, but nothing that would surprise you that it got out. Robles swings and misses. It was a high slider. Canning's got his second strikeout.
Yeah, you wonder if that's by design by Canning. There was back-to-back sliders upstairs, and that's a pitch you're seeing a lot in baseball now from pitchers. A high slider. I know the bullpen coach, Ricky Bonas for the Nationals, he made a living on the high slider. He was convinced you'd get a lot of swing and misses or pop-ups from hitters on a high slider, but if you miss down a little bit, that's the baseball that's going about 482.
Gotta love Ricky Bones, the bullpen coach of the Washington Nationals. See Canning back in 2019. He got a lot of swings and misses with that slider. There's a good one there, breaking over the inner half to Alex Call. Canning's 26. He'll be 27 in about a month. This is about the time where you'd expect him to start taking those strides anyway if he had been pitching regularly. Can it still happen even though he hasn't?
Yeah, because his stuff is there. It's just a matter of staying healthy, especially when you got those lower back and core issues. And Pilates, he mentioned using that. That is definitely something I think you're going to see more and hear more pitchers using that, especially, but very effective as far as keeping that back strong and the core strong. That's a good pitch. Just a little bit off the plate, but that was a solid, good slider. Slider's been 89, touching 90 so far. What a spot this is. That's a great take.
Slow roller, Urshela charges. Off balance throw, a good one to retire Alex Call. And a 1-2-3 inning for Griffin Canning.
Who's ready for baseball? It's time for the first pitch.
Join Harold and Adnan for a first look at the night's matchups, first take from the players, and the first of many breakdowns every night. MLB Tonight, First Pitch, only on MLB Network.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big-name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans
And baseball players wake up to.
Show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
Hey, Tim, can I get a little help?
Sorry, I can't. The no-shift rules this season say I have to stay between second and third.
Yeah, but we're the only people here.
Yeah, still, but we better not risk it. My second baseman will be here in 10 minutes. I'm sure he'll be happy to get that for you.
Maybe you should realize this isn't even a game.
And maybe you should hold on to your hat.
Catch all the Angels action from Jerome's best seat in the house. Sign up for a chance to win at jeromes.com. I think when you win that, you go sit next to Terry Smith in the radio booth. He's got the best seat in the house. That is an immaculate view from the radio booth. It's straight on with home plate here. As Brett Phillips shows bunt and takes ball one. Also, he doesn't have all these monitors and cameras and lights in the way. He's just got a crystal clear, perfect view of this great scene here at Angel Stadium. First at bat this year for Brett Phillips.
Only made an impact defensively out in center field. Two solid plays. You have two pitchers on the mound today who field their position exceptionally well, and you saw that first pitch thrown to Phillips. He was thinking about bunting. MacKenzie Gore fields his position very well, just like Griffin Canning.
Phillips comes up empty on that fastball. You know, Phillips spent a lot of time in the offseason working with a former minor league teammate of his, Trent Woodward, who is now part of the Angels organization, worked with Taylor Ward a lot on just revamping his swing. As Phillips tries to get on base here, it'd be a big threat if he does to start this third inning.
He's trying to make contact. That was an issue in spring training, but that contact important for Phillips.
There's ball four, so good base runner aboard. You know, we've talked a lot about the Angels not running much, but Brett Phillips has a lot of speed, and he's on with the leadoff walk.
Moore's allowed 0 stolen bases and attempts so far this year. He's only allowed 1 stolen base and 2 attempts in his career. Boy, a fastball away though. Taylor Ward can hit that right side of the infield. A lot of room there.
Taylor Ward's been on base safely in every game so far. The Angels' record to start a season belongs to Mark Trumbo. Got on base in 20 straight to begin the 2013 season. Rod Carew made it to 19 in 1981. Taylor Ward's at 12. Ohtani's at 11. He's not in the lineup today.
Tell you what, Mark Trumbo, when he hit a baseball, it was screaming off the bat. He was super strong.
Had some good years with power. One year with over 40 home runs for Mark Trumbo. Phillips is running. The throw down to second base bounces off of Phillips, but not far enough for him to go anywhere. But we told you about the speed threat. Brett Phillips as he gets a stolen base.
Hey, you got a good jump on that. You're going on first movement from a lefty. Quick catch and throw for Ruiz, but that head first slide gets into scoring position right away now for this top of the order.
The Angels are now 4 for 4 in stolen base tries to begin the year. Chance to take the lead here in the third. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Taylor Ward.
That's when you want that good situational hitting. Taylor Ward is a guy that doesn't expand, doesn't chase out of the zones. He's a perfect spot. for Ward to get the job done here.
High and tight to make it 3-2 with Mike Trout on deck.
It's amazing how many first pitches that Taylor Ward has swung at this year, yet you always look up and it's a 3-2 count.
There's a breaking ball for strike 3 at the very top of the zone. That's a tough pitch to be a called third strike when it's coming on a curve like that.
Well, that's pretty close. That's a tough one to. You give up on that. You think that's out of the strike zone, especially when you have such a good idea of the strike zone.
Doug Eddings, a pretty pitcher-friendly umpire. So he'll call strikes that are in that shadow of the zone pretty regularly. And here's Trout.
Even though it's a lefty for Trout, and he's hit lefties really well this season, it's a tough matchup, especially for Gore, throwing a lot of high fastballs against Trout. He's looking for one of his curves or sliders in the lower third.
Phillips running for third. The throw goes into left field. Phillips doesn't realize it yet. Now he does, and he will score the first run of the game.
Mr. Energy provides a run, a walk, 2 stolen bases, and scores on the wide throw. Bill Hasselman's basically running over there. Go, go. Showing that speed, getting in. 2 stolen bases in the inning and scores on the wide throw. Halos up with a gift run.
That was just all Phillips. He drew the leadoff walk. He stole second. He stole third. And he comes home on the error by Keibert Ruiz, creating a run without even making any contact. Now 3 balls, 1 strike on Trout.
But 94% of the time, we'll throw a fastball here to a right-handed batter, so Trout can sit fastball now.
Pops it up. Did the same thing in the first inning. This is Lane Thomas to retire Trout. Two outs. Rendon will be the batter. Hit into a double play his first time. Still looking for his first extra base hit of 2023. So much patience with Rendon, so much poise when he's at the plate too. We saw him yesterday, bases loaded, 2 strikes, getting a sacrifice fly in an important spot in yesterday's game.
Never seems to really help out a pitcher and expand the strike zone and chase. Regardless of the count, regardless of the situation, with runners in scoring position, he's going to bring you in the zone.
Just no panic there whatsoever in any spot. Not sure the same could be said for MacKenzie Gore. The Nationals say he's very hard on himself. He's by far his harshest critic. They want him to tone that down because it feels like he beats himself up while he's on the mound, and it could lead to big innings.
It's one of those fine lines. You don't want to take that aggressive nature away from a pitcher, but you also don't want to allow that to go in and turn into a big inning by letting things bother you.
Gore gets the inside corner there to make it a full count on Rendon. Ripped down the left field line, but foul.
Real close, but this hooks the last second and just misses that chalk line.
Oh, nice catch by a fan. Had a cup in one hand and reached out and snagged the ball with the other. It's because he's wearing the City Connect jersey.
That had to be the case, and the reason.
Look at this.
Nice.
Skills. There's another chance for a fan to catch a ball. I dropped that one.
Boy, sticking with fastballs here. Every pitch. Four-seamer.
Hard hit on the ground, backhanded by Garcia. And Rendon's out to end the inning. Brett Phillips did it all by himself in the bottom of the third. Leadoff walk, 2 stolen bases, then forced a throwing error, and it was that error that brought Phillips home.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans
And baseball players wake up to.
Show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
Brett Phillips creates a run in the bottom of the third. Leadoff walk and then stolen base or two, an error. And there you go. There we go. Acai bowl time.
Yeah.
Nice and healthy. Dean didn't bring me a napkin, so I'm just getting strawberries all over my coat. No problem. It's a light coat.
Don't bother me. I'm eating.
I got to try this. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Got strawberries, blueberries. Diving stop by Urshela, but he's not going to be able to make a play. It'll be a base hit for Jeimer Candelario.
Feeling good about that hit. It was a good play there by Urshela, showing the range, but no way you're going to be able to get that baseball out of the glove and have a chance in the transfer to throw him out.
Supposed to have some paper here to tell you where you can get these acai bowls here. Oh, it's in my monitor.
Yes.
The Juice It Up stand. Get an acai berry bowl, which is what this is, a dragon fruit bowl. There's granola in here with the strawberries and blueberries. Dominic Smith swings and misses. It's good. It's refreshing.
It's really
not a grilled cheese. I did ask for a grilled cheese, but this the acai bowl is going to keep me healthy, you know.
Yes.
And it's good.
It is really good.
And I'm going to eat it while I talk.
Yes, you should. I'm going to allow you to do all the talking here.
No balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, I noticed that. And granola's a little crunchy, so don't mind me.
It'll sound good on the air too.
Right.
You crunch it in there. That's perfect.
I'm going to time it with the back crack so it might sound like that.
We'll take that as long as it's the ground ball on the ground and an infielder right now.
There's a line drive base hit for Dominic Smith. Candelario's going to test Phillips' arm. Phillips has a good one. The throw not in time. And Candelario able to go first to third despite the great arm of Brett Phillips.
Stay back on that one. It was elevating, lines into center field, and aggressive base running too. It's over the third base side of the bag. We saw that in game 1, how aggressive running the bases.
Back-to-back hits to start the 4th. Second time through the order on Griffin Canning. And here's Meneses.
This is a time where you're thinking preventing a big inning scenario. So you take that ground ball double play, take a pop up in the infield here.
Infield is back in case there is a double play chance with Meneses up.
Pretty close to getting to go that one.
Nationals somewhat routinely hit into double plays. It was a big problem for them last year, and it's carried over to this year as well. Washington has hit into 14 double plays already.
He was able to hold up on that one. That's pretty strong to be able to do that.
Good pitch there by Canning on the changeup for strike 2.
So some really good solid changeups this afternoon. Now he put himself in position to get that punch out now with 2 strikes.
Atlanta's the only team that's hit into more double plays than the Nationals have so far this year, and there's a well-timed timeout called by Meneses. Keibert Ruiz on deck.
10 swing and misses so far for Canning. 4 with his changeup, 4 with his slider.
Use another here. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Meneses. A high fastball doesn't entice the big slugger. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See that percentage of changeups used increased since his 2019 at 25% so far today.
Line to right, base hit for Meneses. That pitch was up. 3 straight singles start the 4th, and Washington's tied the game.
A couple of those sliders have been elevated. As much as we saw a couple of those swing and miss earlier, this is a pitch where you want to go down and off the plate. You see the target being set. And not quite that dot you'll see on a real tight slider. Going down. Elevated, you can make contact with it. It was hard contact.
So Matt Wise goes to the mound. 3 straight hits here in the top of the 4th. So they'll chat about that, and Hyundai will chat with us.
Own every mile in the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5, 2023 Motor Trend SUV of the Year.
Well, Canning needs it out. Keibert Ruiz, the batter, singled his first time up. The Washington Nationals, as Tim Bogar put it the other day, will paper cut you. Check swing. Ruiz went around for strike 1. The Nationals are tied for the 2nd most singles in the major leagues. They have had 80 singles entering today's play. And now 4 more in this game. Bouncing ball, and there's another single. It's into right field. They're going to hold Smith at 3rd. It's the 4th consecutive base hit to begin the top of the 4th inning for the Nationals. Ruiz is 2 for 2.
And just getting by Rengifo and underneath the glove. So a couple ground balls in this inning. A couple well hit baseballs into the outfield.
That brings up Luis Garcia. A pitch there by Canning on a curveball to make it no balls and 1 strike. We've seen Angels starting pitchers at times so far this year have a good groove early, and then it starts to disappear in the middle innings. Little tapper. Angels should get an out here. Urshela to first to retire Garcia. Another run scores. Smith comes home, and the Nationals now have the lead. It's 2-1.
2 more runners in scoring position now for a team that's making a lot of contact.
Jaime Barria is throwing in the Angels bullpen. The expectation was that Canning is fully stretched out. He has thrown only 55 pitches so far in this one. But Barria is getting loose anyway in the Angels bullpen. Infield is in now. And a swing and a miss on a high fastball to Lane Thomas.
I mean, he's looking for that wipeout swing and miss pitch with 2 strikes that basically has eluded him so far, especially in this inning where he's had some chances. He's got that spin rate on a slider to get a swing and miss. Same thing with his changeup, but he's gotten that elevated too much.
Goes upstairs with the fastball again. Gets it by Thomas again. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
And here's the time when you need that punch out, especially with the infield in now.
Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Good pitch by Canning. Gets a big strikeout. And now 2 away.
Again, that's another one of those sliders upstairs. It wasn't by design. You see the target being set by Logan O'Hoppe. He wanted that down. Still effective in that upper part, but that's a pitch you can make contact with upstairs. Down and away, it's a tougher one.
First pitch swinging. Abrams with a fly ball foul. Abrams grounded to short his first time. Base hit here, though. Put the Angels in a pretty big hole. 4 straight singles started this inning. This is how the Nationals do it. Gotten a lot of hits just putting the ball in play. 5th in the National League in hits entering today. Most of them singles. Two balls and a strike on Abrams. Roughly 80% of their hits for the season so far have been just for 1 base, but
they don't strike out a ton, although that was a big strikeout last batter for Canning, and they're putting the ball in place that it allows you opportunities, many opportunities to score runs. His changeup, it's been solid. That's quite a few swing and misses on his changeup to this point.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts. Canning able to at least get through the 4th and minimize the damage.
The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network. The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network.
Hey, Tim, can I get a little help?
Sorry, I can't. The no-shift rules this season say I have to stay between 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, but we're the only people here.
Yeah, still, but we better not risk it. My second baseman will be here in 10 minutes. I'm sure he'll be happy to get that for you.
Maybe you should realize this isn't even a game.
And maybe you should hold on to your hat.
Angels host the Royals at 6:30. The first 25,000 fans will receive a BB-8 and Mike Trout bobblehead for Star Wars night. Visit angels.com/promotions for more info.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
BB-8 likes acai bowls. I do.
I was going to say, I think you do.
Yeah, I'm in. There's a ball to Hunter Renfroe. Where do you get these acai bowls again? They're somewhere here in the stadium.
Tell you what, they were refreshing. My stomach's not reacting well, though. It's like, that's too healthy for you.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Where's that slice of cheese pizza at?
Where's the chocolate cake?
Good pitch now for Renfroe with his power, the way he's swinging.
Strike at the top of the zone.
That's above the strike zone there.
The Juice It Up stand is where you can get the acai bowls. It's located in the third base food court inside of Gate 1 here at Angel Stadium. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Renfroe.
And he went after that slider because the pitch before the slider was above the strike zone. It was called a strike. So you're more apt as a hitter to think it's a strike, so you're going after it. Well, that's his hot zone, that upper part of the strike zone middle, and that was right there.
Renfroe with a base hit his first time. Only 2 hits allowed so far by MacKenzie Gore, who's now pitching with the lead for the first time. He's into a full count now with Renfroe at 3-2. That's hit hard. Just about everything has been so far from Renfroe. It's a line in the ball all over the place.
So strong.
There's ball 4. A leadoff walk helped the Angels get a run in the 3rd inning, and now a leadoff walk starts the 4th.
3 out of 4 innings, a leadoff walk for MacKenzie Gore.
Taylor Ward walked to begin the game. Here's Rengifo, struck out his first time.
Still waiting to get Rengifo locked in, especially from this side of the plate, what he did last year.
Rengifo hit 11 home runs off left-handed pitching last year, so a good guy to have in the lineup today against the tough lefty Gore. Matt Moore's up in the Angels bullpen, so even though Canning fought through it, the 4 straight singles and the 2 runs allowed might be the end of the day for him.
Interesting too, with 2 right-handed batters leading off next inning for the Nationals, followed by some lefties. You wonder if he'll give him that opportunity, Phil Nevin, for Canning to go back out, or just go straight right out to Matt Moore, who's just as effective against righties as lefties.
Rengifo smacks it to left. Angels have 2 on, nobody out here in the 4th.
That's a good swing there from Rengifo. He stayed back on this one. Inside part of the plate, brought his hands in and lines it hard. In short 3rd. Went inside on him, brought his hands in right on the inside corner that pitch was. He just trying to respond right back to those 2 runs by the Nationals in the top of the 4th.
Here's Drury, struck out his first time. Good cut there on a ball that ended up in a hittable spot from Gore. But Drury could only foul it off.
You can almost expect Drury's going to get a fastball here. More likely upper 3rd.
Hit deep toward the right field corner, but slicing foul.
Remember, he struck him out that first bat on a high fastball. That fastball was a little lower. Good swing at it for Drury on that one.
Renfroe and Rengifo on the bases for the Angels. Drury takes ball 1. That fastball was close to the inside corner, but just a little bit off.
You're right. He throws a lot of fastballs, Wayne. You mentioned just about 59% this season. He's thrown quite a few of them today, too.
Back to the inside part of the plate again. You can see Gore getting frustrated. You can see Keibert Ruiz trying to calm him down in real time.
And this is the time now as a hitter you feel you're going to get a pitch in the middle part of the plate and you see a pitcher frustrated. They were both off the inside corner. This is when he's got a chance to make a mistake, and you got to be ready for Drury.
Line to left, base hit for Drury. Renfroe will get the stop sign at third as the left fielder Call gets it in quickly. And the Angels are brewing here in the fourth. Bases loaded, nobody out.
And good hitters, really, they sense that when they see a pitcher, especially a young pitcher, showing some emotion. You feel, okay, this is a chance now I'm going to get something in the strike zone. And he did, and he lines it on the ground in the left field for a single. It's amazing. It's all about that poker face on the mound. If you show motion sometimes, you know as a hitter, do you feel you have a better shot? There was a couple really good pitches he threw to him, so you had the advantage, but once you showed that emotion as a hitter, it bounces back to your side. Gio Urshela, we talked about how well he's hit the big part of the field, and he's got 15 hits. You see where the majority of these hits are so far this season. How many have been right back up the middle? Only one pulled hit. Everything middle, either left center, center, right center. I mean, that allows you to stay on the baseball longer, no matter what the count is.
And the right guy to have up in a situation like this, bases loaded and nobody out. He's going to put the ball in play. He's going to hit it on a line drive somewhere. The chance for Urshela to at least tie the game. The Nationals will keep their infield back. Urshela line to base hit his first time. Gore pumps in a strike at the bottom of the zone at 96 miles an hour.
That's a fastball, 96. That's a pitch, a good pitch to lay off. That's a pitch you hit on the ground. You're trying to get something you hit in the air and drive it.
Urshela expanded a little bit there. Mason Thompson, who we saw Monday night, warming up in the Washington bullpen. Urshela, then O'Hoppe. As the Angels try to bounce back after Washington scored 2 in the top of this inning. Bottom of the fourth, this started with a walk and 2 singles. Bases loaded, no outs for Urshela. He fouls off a 1-2 pitch.
Wow, what, whoa. Flying into the fan. That's a tough spot. It gets in there quickly, that level.
Guy brought his glove and backhanded it. Huh. And he gives it to a kid. What a guy. Check swing. That ball bounce?
Yeah. Somewhere Vlad's laughing too.
Yeah, I think Urshela kind of accidentally pulled a Vlad there. It bounced and then he gave it a little cricket swing.
Yeah. It's one of those pitches that's got a real good chance of being a wild pitch.
Back 2 with a count, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Urshela. And he swings it, misses on the back foot slider for strike 3.
Well, the Angels so far this season have really struggled with the bases loaded. That's a pretty tough breaking ball there. That's his nasty curveball.
Runners in scoring position. The Angels have hit .241 as a team. 1 out. Here's O'Hoppe. And there's a strike. O'Hoppe with 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. He's been the team leader in both categories to begin the year. Angels need the bat on the ball here. Ruiz with a stop behind home plate.
That first pitch, especially with the bases loaded, always is an important one for the batter there. And that pitch, the first pitch was a fastball, was off the plate, called a strike, so that changes what you're doing at the plate. Now it's even back up now at 1.
Now 2 balls and a strike. Gore not getting the bottom of the zone on the corner there.
That was a real good pitch. I was in the strike zone on that one. But even now on those 2 fastballs so far in this at bat.
Went to the slider on 2-1. Has a lot of confidence in that pitch right now. O'Hoppe lays off. He's in the driver's seat there, but he didn't. Now 2-2. Gore's been working hard the last couple of innings. In a big jam here, but trying to pitch his way out of it. 2-2 on O'Hoppe. And he swings it, misses at a slider for strike 3. Now 2 outs, and it's up to Phillips.
That's a nasty slider. You got to swing and miss at a curveball against Urshela, and now a slider.
2 big outs after the bases were loaded to start the inning. Now it is up to the number 9 batter, Phillips, who has only been at the plate once this year.
It's one of those pitches too for Phillips. He can punch that into left field and elevate a fastball like that.
Walked his first time, scored after 2 steals and an error. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brett Phillips.
Sometimes when you don't face many lefties in a lineup, it's tough to throw a strike to a left-handed batter if you're a lefty pitcher with not many in your lineup.
Ruiz able to keep that at home plate. Gore falls behind Phillips now.
Especially when you're so used to seeing that right-handed batter in there, you have that clear throw towards the plate. But now with a lefty batter at the plate, it's a different look for a left-handed pitcher with not many in the lineup.
There's ball 3. So Phillips, who walked his first time, has the count heavily in his favor now. 3 balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Gore comes back with a good fastball. So now the runners will get a head start. We'll see if Brett Phillips can come through. An important spot in this game. Bases loaded, 2 outs on 3-2. Phillips fouls it back.
Nice job. He's shorting up on that one, just trying to make contact with his speed, force the defense to make a play. That's all you can do if you're Phillips here against this tough lefty, is to shorten up your swing and making some contact. The Nationals have been doing that throughout this whole series, making contact.
See it again. 3-2 to Phillips. It's on the way. And it's ball 4. Brett Phillips draws another walk. This one brings home Renfroe to tie the game at 2.
So a run scored and an RBI is not put the ball in play. A couple stolen bases for Mr. Energy. Good take.
Such a good job by MacKenzie Gore to battle back after the bases were loaded with nobody out. He got back-to-back strikeouts, but then he just could not put Brett Phillips away. Phillips draws a game-tying walk, and MacKenzie Gore is on his way to the locker room.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car. Then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid. Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
If sports fans built a streaming service.
What's going on?
I think we found a way to stop fans from destroying their TVs when their teams lose.
How's it work?
Hey, Charlie. Philly lost.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put you on hold for just 1 second. Okay.
No!
Yeah, we need a little bit of water splashing around this one.
Bob Ross channel. It's frickin' genius.
It's even a little over here.
Live TV and sports and more, but mostly sports. That's Fubo!
The search for high-quality meat ends here. With ButcherBox, you get 100% grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Sourced from partners who believe in doing things the right way. Together, we can make a difference, one meal at a time. Sign up today at butcherbox.com for a special offer.
The speed going down there, how quick Brett Phillips able to get into second base on that head-first slide, the first stolen base of the season. Then that big lead, about 17 feet, going on first, moving from the lefty. It's always easier to steal third base, especially against the lefty. Gets a third, and Reed's little Hasselman able to score the first run of the game and drives in another with a walk. And that was our play sense presented by Frontier. The speed, Brett Phillips, and the patience by Brett Phillips.
Now Mason Thompson, who looked good the other night, takes over on the mound here in the fourth. The Angels have a chance to take the lead with the bases loaded, and Taylor Ward at the plate. Bounce toward third, foul.
And he is aggressive on the first pitch, Taylor Ward. But then you look up, 3-2.
He just wants to go after whatever's in the zone, regardless of the count. He says sometimes he doesn't even pay attention to what the count is. He's got his ideas up there at the plate, and he'll try to come through here to give the Halos the lead. Fouls it off his foot, and it's 0-2. The Angels have not scored a run in this series against the Washington bullpen. They've only had one hit against them. Little squibber. Might be a tough play. Smith to Thompson on the bag, and they get Ward to win the inning. So the Angels settle for one. Had the bases loaded, nobody out, but Brett Phillips draws a 2-out walk, and it's 2-2.
Doors take us places, to new adventures, planned and unplanned. They lead to goals and connect us to family.
I didn't get
Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors.
I did get waiter number 2.
Because they know you. They can help you create a comprehensive plan for your full financial picture and personalized money management. With the right balance of risk and reward, doors were meant to be opened.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
The top of the fifth here at Angels Stadium. We're glad to be joined once again by Angels legend Garrett Anderson. Glad to have you back in the booth. Second day in a row.
Thank you.
How you liking it up here?
It's nice. It's a little cold today. I'm getting soft in my older age.
Victor Robles. I'm from Chicago. I'm ready to go hit the beach after this game's over. 1 ball, no strikes on Robles against Griffin Canning, who's probably going to get at least a couple batters here, a couple of righties to start the inning.
I think it all depends on how the inning goes. If he's able to get the 2 right-handed batters, he might get the opportunity to face Candelario. You got Matt Moore ready to go.
Candelario, a switch hitter. Robles with a fly ball towards shallow right. Renfroe, long run in, makes the catch.
It's always a good idea if you're, even though you're as strong as you are as Rengifo, get out of the way of Renfroe coming in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you had a few shortstop. We saw Desar today. I'm sure he always got out of the way when you were coming in there.
Desar never went out. He told me, he said, you got everything. He hated fly balls. So I knew I had to run in. Everything was it.
Fly ball to right, easy for Renfroe again. And 2 quick outs for Griffin Canning here in the 5th. So if Phil Nevin was curious about how Canning would bounce back after a couple of runs in the 4th, so far it's been easy.
He's giving him an opportunity, but see if he can get that quick out here to get to that dugout. Mike Trout leading off, see if he can get that lead.
Here's Candelario. The shortstop Urshela shifted about as far over as you could possibly be. As Candelario looks at a strike, Urshela moving over a little bit now, but he was a couple steps closer to second base on the first pitch. Fly ball toward the left field line, long run. Taylor Ward makes the catch.
Man, way to go. You put up a quick 1-2-3 inning.
Griffin Canning cruises in the top of the 5th inning. Nice play by Taylor Ward in foul ground as it stays tied.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered, packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning-fast hour.
What a play!
We live today, preview tomorrow on Quick Pitch. Late nights and every morning, only on MLB Network.
MLB The Show Legend Line. Ready to play?
Let's get it.
Come on. Nice.
That was sick.
Man, you like that? Check out the new Storylines mode where you can play as one of the Negro League baseball legends.
Your voice sounds familiar. Do I know you?
Just call me the captain.
Rated E for everyone.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off flare!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
We've got one great angel in the booth, Garrett Anderson. We've got one at the plate to lead off the bottom of the 5th as Mike Trout stands in against Mason Thompson. There's some great angels out on the field before the game today. Chuck Finley is here. Gary DiSarcina is here. He's the third base coach for the Washington Nationals. Langston's here. So there was a big reunion of former Angels on the field before the game today.
And you go with Mike Trout's previous bat, talking to Marcus Timms, what he was doing and what he's seeing there. He's seen that elbow. He's trying to say bringing the elbow up, but he's bringing it down. He's getting caught in between. That's why you see those fly balls, especially to right field. And Gia, when you see that, when you see a hitter, you know that when you bring your elbow in, that you're tying yourself up in your swing, correct?
Yeah, you're tying yourself up and you're forcing the ball to go in the air, so you're just going to see a ton of pop flies.
Trout chases a good hard fastball that had some run to it from Thompson, and Trout strikes out, one away.
Gee, over your career, when you have a different hitting coach, I mean, how hard is it to make that adjustment with them, especially early on?
Well, my hitting coach when I came up was Rod Cruz, so it was it was a one-way it was one-way conversation. He talked, I listened, but with Hatch, when Hatch came in, when Mike took over, I didn't have a problem with him because Hatcher, at that point in my career, he's like, you already know what you're doing. So what he did was to say, he'll let me know when I don't look like I should look at the plate. Like, he's like, hey, you don't look right, go look at some video. But we never really had a lot of back and forth about approach or anything like that. So from that standpoint, I really had no issues with batting coaches, whatever. I just used little pieces during my career. Chili, Eddie, George Hendrick is one that taught me to hit for power. So I had to learn to be my own hitting coach.
3 balls, no strikes on Rendon. How much video did you like to watch?
Not very much at all. It was just, if I had never seen the pitcher before, I would go look at it a little bit just to kind of get some look and see what his pitches look like. But for the most part, not too much video at all.
Well, Rendon draws a 4-pitch walk. It's the 5th walk issued by a Washington pitcher tonight. The Angels have a man on for Hunter Renfroe.
And there's so much information out there for both hitters and pitchers. Do you think sometimes the hitter, when you get all that information, what he has a tendency to throw certain counts, or what kind of spin he's going to get on certain pitches, does that help you all the time, or sometimes is that going to be one of those things where you end up thinking too much instead of reacting?
Yeah, I think you can paralyze yourself with too much information. I don't know if there's enough time to use it all. I gathered my own information on my own. I would always just find out what the pitchers throw, but I knew what they were going to do to me. It was just very obvious that they weren't going to let me hurt them in right field up in the seats. So for the most part, righty stayed away from me and lefty stayed away from me.
Renfroe slashes one toward the gap in right center. Sliding to drop the ball is Lane Thomas. Renfroe's on his way to second. He's in there safely. Rendon ends up at third. Good effort by Lane Thomas in right center, but it came up a little short. And now the Halos have runners on second and third with just 1 out.
Boy, off the bat, I thought he had no chance of getting there, but as a right-handed batter, is going to have a tendency to work its way back towards the left. I mean, the right fielder, and that's what he did. Came into the slide, and this basically almost like he flat out missed it on the slide. Sometimes when you do that, your head moves, and you're unable to make the play. You know that, G, out in left field. When you come in that slide sometimes, even though your eyes, then boom, you hit the ground.
I very rarely hit the ground.
No, I was going to say that next.
George Hendrick told me, he said, nothing good going to come out of you hitting the ground. You're too big. I would slide, but it didn't happen very often. Yeah. I always had a really good placement. I knew where guys were going to hit the ball. I was very much a student of hitting, so I knew if the ball was hit to me in left field by certain hitters, I know where it would be.
Yep.
So a double for Renfroe. He gets a base hit for it. Infield in. And now Rengifo, a liner caught by Abrams. Throw to third. Double play. Renfroe with a hard liner to a drawn-in infield. And as Abrams caught that ball, he shotgunned it to third. And a good play there by the third baseman Candelario to catch it and step on the bag to end the inning. Tough play, and the Angels are done here in the bottom of the 5th. They had second and third. They end up not scoring as we head to the 6th.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game. Right here on MLB Network.
The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Wondering how you stack up? Well, get ready to bring your best stuff to MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run. The official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Sign up for free for a chance to play your way to the 2023 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals at the World Series. Visit pitchhitrun.com today.
Sports is brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop Nissan USA JackInTheBox.com and by Jack in the Box. 2 tacos for 99 cents online and on the Jack app. We've seen a lot of Kabuto replicas at the ballpark. Here's one we haven't seen before.
That's really, really cool.
The mini Kabuto on the Rally Monkey. That's right.
So good.
Here's Dominic Smith to lead off the 6th inning. High and tight from Matt Moore, who has entered the game to replace Griffin Canning.
Nice job by Griffin Canning, his first start since July 2nd of 2021.
There's a strike to Dominic Smith, who's born in L.A., grew up in South Central L.A. He's got a lot of family here. Said he had about 60 people here yesterday. Line towards center. Phillips comes in, and then there's one out.
He's generally right on the baseball. He's hit the ball hard. This play by Phillips, get that first out. Boy, another missed opportunity though. And Hifo hit that ball on the line. There's nothing really you could do even as a base runner. You're just, I mean, that's a good play by Abrams. A quick throw over to Candelario to get the double play ball.
What'd you think of Canning today?
Good, lot to like about him. I mean, that second time through in that 4th inning, we gave up some ground balls and a couple baseballs upstairs that were hit. Decent, but I thought overall his spin rate on some of his slider, the one slider he threw got hit. It was about 25 plus 100 RPMs, and then followed up with a strikeout at over 2,900. So it's there for him. His changeup I thought was great. Fastball velocity solid. A lot to like about what I saw from Griffin Canning here today.
5 innings, 2 runs, no walks. You know, for guys who haven't pitched in a year and 9 months at this level.
And you can almost pencil in a walk or two when you haven't been out there in so long. You're going to overthrow, but I'll tell you what, he was solid. A lot to like.
Struck out 4 through 69 pitches. And the Angels can afford to use more of their bullpen today with the off day tomorrow. Meneses rolls one over to Urshela. Takes his time and heaves it to Drury. Matt Moore's retired the first 2, and he wants us to hear from Jack in the Box.
Remember, 2 tacos a day keeps the hangry away. Download the Jack app and get them for 99 cents.
Keibert Ruiz will be the batter. A couple of hits for Ruiz today. First pitch hit deep toward the left field corner, but foul and out of play. Gooby just tweeted it. Well, we have it. The picture that was taken down on the field before the game today with a lot of Angel greats, especially from the 90s and 2000s on the field before the game today. As Keibert Ruiz sends one deep in the air, left center field. Phillips is all the way back. He leaps. He's got it. Right in front of the wall in deep left center field. Brett Phillips takes away extra bases from Keibert Ruiz.
Wow, what an angle he took. Hey, you can put that Kabuto hat on there. You prevented a home run. Why not? Kabuto hats. Take away a home run.
The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network.
These new bases are wider than the old ones.
Is he focused on the size of the new bases?
Now it will be easier to steal second base.
Is he thinking about stealing second base?
7 years in the league.
And he's never stolen a single base. Don't steal second base.
The pitcher's not looking.
I am not looking.
When it's about to go down,
this is the story of the night.
MLB Tonight takes you there.
You will watch it all together live.
He's done it! 62! How about that?
Big moments.
Oh, baby! 3,000 hits!
Big reactions.
Bobby Witt Jr.'s first big league knock.
And big interviews.
What was the first thing going through your mind?
Join TV's best baseball analysts for a big night of baseball. Every night, only on MLB Network's MLB Tonight. This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
At least a double on the ball that was hit strong to the left center field gap right in front of the wall, where Brett Phillips made a leaping catch to end the top of the 6th inning. It's been a good day for Phillips. He has an RBI, a run scored, he's walked twice, and a good defensive play now in the outfield.
He's shown that defensive metrics we talked about even way back in spring training, how good he is out in the outfield. That direction he'll go, that first step, quick.
On average, he gets one of the best jumps for fly balls in the major leagues.
Like he's gliding for the baseball out in the outfield.
Also has one of the best throwing arms. Drury with a liner, that's over third. Candelario with a reaching try, made a leap for it, but Brandon Drury has a leadoff double and the go-ahead run in scoring position.
And what a play that was for Brett Phillips to finish off that inning. Our Arco top-tier play, the angle and the direction going back at the wall. It's a great play, gliding in there. Gio Urshela liking, Taylor Ward liking, Rengifo. And we're all liking that play. And he's made a couple good plays defensively already this afternoon.
Here's Gio Urshela, go-ahead run at second. Little tapper to third. Candelario has it and throws out Urshela, so unable to move the runner over as Drury stays at second. There's one out.
That's one of those outs too, especially for Gio Urshela. He knows he was out in front on that one. He hits a ground ball to third. If you're going to hit a ground ball, you want it to that right side of the infield to get Drury over now. So good as far as that big part of the field. By the way, another good swing by Brandon Drury. That's 2 in a row. Solid, hard contact.
Here's O'Hoppe. Line drive, right center, a base hit. The Angels take the lead. Brandon Drury comes home. O'Hoppe will hold it first with yet another RBI. The rookie comes through again. The Angels have a 3-2 lead, and O'Hoppe with his team leading 11th run batted in.
And he's aggressive first pitch. Lines it right center. Yo 11th RBI. Fastball up, shortened up. Again, another pitch upstairs. Wayne, like we saw the home run yesterday. Fastballs up are going to be covered by Logan O'Hoppe.
First time we've really seen him go the other way, too, with authority like that. As O'Hoppe sends one up the gap in right center, and he will send Mason Thompson to the shower. Angels have the lead. It's 3-2. Washington changing pitchers in the 6th.
This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
greats out there on the field before the game today. Look at the size of Chuck Finley.
I know. It's unbelievable. Finn, still incredibly strong. Like, he could still go out there and pitch. And Finn just go, by the way, how did you get in that picture? You got in the area about 25 with us.
You guys look like Hulk and Andre at WrestleMania 3 right there.
He's supposed to be up there. I'm like, wow. Finn is gigantic.
Gary at East Arcina with a little photo bomb back there, too. Chuck Finley, the all-time great Angel pitchers. And Mark Langston loving seeing his former teammates here today as well. The Angels have the lead. It is 3-2. As Brett Phillips looks at a strike from the new pitcher Hunter Harvey. Speaking of a former Angel, around that same timeline, he was teammates with Finley and Langston, was Brian Harvey, and Gary DiSarcina too. Brian Harvey, the former Angels closer. This is his son Hunter getting a swing and a miss from Brett Phillips.
Yeah, shortly thereafter he came over, and we're all talking to him and reminiscing about how great his dad was, and and Chuck Finley has so many unbelievable stories with, you know, hanging out at their house back in Carolina. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Chuck Finley, a four-time All-Star for the Angels, over 2,000 strikeouts in an Angels uniform, just a team icon, and good to see Chuck Finley here at Angel Stadium before the game today.
Talk about a guy who was out there battling every day. He never wanted to come out of the game. He always go into the locker room, so it's Finn the win every time he took the mound.
That's in there, kind of a delayed call by Doug Eddings, but Phillips is retired for the first time today. And now 2 outs. The batter will be Taylor Ward, back to the top of the order.
He's got good stuff. We know how good that splitter. His dad had a fork ball, and this is splitter. Fastball 98 miles an hour.
It's stuff from Hunter Harvey. They think he's going to be the closer eventually for Washington.
Just saying, he's just trying to stay healthy. It's been a while, and it took a while to get here to the major leagues, but he feels now that he's ready and he's healthy, and he's got the stuff to do it. And he's going to provide the power as a hitter like Taylor Ward. All you're trying to do is get the barrel of the bat on him.
Harvey with that long hair, kind of has a mullet. Business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
It's a good look if you could do it, you know. That one skips right into the glove of Abrams, down to a knee to glove it. Good play to end the 6th, but the Angels take the lead. Logan O'Hoppe with the go-ahead RBI.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered, packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning-fast hour.
What a play!
We live today, preview tomorrow on Quick Pitch. Late nights and every morning, only on MLB Network. With an Ohtani Trout blanket courtesy of Nationwide Pet Insurance. The first 25,000 fans will receive
a blanket before the Angels take on the A's at 6:30 p.m. Visit angels.com/promotions for more info.
Take that with us on the road trip coming up to Boston. A few days of warmth, but then it's a little bit chillier. Boston and New York.
Angels have 4 games at Fenway starting Friday, which will be on Apple TV Plus, by the way, Friday night's game. So
Go get them.
I'll still be in there. It'll still be me, but it'll be with Dontrell Willis and Heidi Watney on the sideline.
Day train.
I'm looking forward to working with Dontrell. Here's Aaron Loop taking over on the mound in the 7th. Angels got a clean inning in the 6th from Matt Moore. This might be a good day for the Angel left-handed relievers. We might even see Quijada again later because the Nationals have all these lefties spread through their order, including Luis Garcia leading off here in the 7th.
Moore is really throwing the ball well, even though if you look at his ERA, it's at 4. A couple of those games, the inherited runner just from first base have scored. Other than that, he's been really, really solid for the Halos so far.
For a reliever, even if you give up 1 or 2 runs this early in the season, the ERA is out of whack for a while, so not really a number to pay attention to very much at this point in the year.
When you get a call second strike like that, you got to go even further off the plate if you're Aaron Loop.
That was in a hittable spot. Phillips, though, with a good jump. He's right there. And 1 out as Garcia hit it hard. Brett Phillips last year, remember, he was a part-time player. He had 11 outs above average, according to StatCast, the 5th most among major league outfielders, and that was with playing relatively a third or not even a quarter of the season.
Well, he can get a baseball. His angle he takes, you mentioned how quick that first step is. It's exceptional.
There's a strike to Lane Thomas.
Walking an RBI, walking a couple stolen bases and runs scored. So he's been a big part of this game so far for the Halos.
Rendon right in front of the bag at third with a backhand. A strong sidearm throw to retire Thomas. And Aaron Loop's retired the first 2. For the Angels pitchers, between Canning, Moore, and Loop, they've now retired 11 straight.
A lot of ground ball action, too.
Another lefty. Here's C.J. Abrams. Angels have some activity in their bullpen. Looks like Herget with the right-hander Robles next.
That's a tough arm angle for a left-handed batter to stay in against Aaron Loop. See if he can build on some momentum here.
Abrams broke his bat. Talked to Perry Manassian the other day about the setup of the Angels bullpen. I remember no 3-batter rules, so it's harder to keep lefties on a roster usually, especially a specialty lefty, because you don't get that 1-batter matchup. And he feels like they have a good mix because of Loop, who can get righties out. Matt Moore certainly can, and Quijada can.
Yep. Each have a different pitch to get a right-handed batter out. Moore has that great changeup to go along with his curveball. And Quijada with that 4-seam fastball runs it upstairs. And Aaron Loop will throw that backdoor slider against a right-handed batter.
Looper towards short. Urshela's got it. Easy inning for Aaron Loop. 8 pitches. 1, 2, 3 as it's stretch time at the Big A.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans
and baseball players wake up to.
Show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
Sunday on the next episode of MLB's Carded. Join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
MLB The Show Legend Line. Ready to play?
Let's get it.
Come on. Nice.
That was sick.
Man, you like that? Check out the new Storylines mode where you can play as one of the Negro League baseball legends.
Your voice sounds familiar. Do I know you?
Just call me the captain.
Rated E for everyone.
Brought to you by Sage Pitching Decisions, the official software partner of Major League Baseball. And by Spectrum One, Internet Advanced Wi-Fi and Mobile, for just $49.99 a month. Brett Phillips has had a big part in today's game for the Angels. He's got a run scored, an RBI, made a great catch on a ball hit well by Keibert Ruiz. And he has spelled Mike Trout in center field today. Trout's the DH as he leads off the bottom of the 7th against Hunter Harvey. Angels trying to win this series, take a 7-5 record with them to Boston. 7-game road trip coming up against the Red Sox and Yankees. It'll be Patrick Sandoval Friday night against Tanner Houck. Tyler Anderson against Nick Pivetta on Saturday. That's a late afternoon game, Boston time on Saturday, as Trout pops up another. Thomas a long run. Smith as well. It falls in but foul.
Very similar to that same swing he was talking with Marcus Timms. Remember, we were showing that in the dugout where just getting that elbow just kind of locked in is forcing the baseball to be hit in the air for Mike Trout. See right there, there's a perfect angle of that one for Trouty. Just getting that elbow kind of caught in the rib cage area as he's trying to get through. Trouty is all about his hands, and you know exactly what Marcus Timms is telling us. It's about your hands, getting your hands through the baseball.
That one fouled off the mask of Ruiz, and hopefully he's okay. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sunday morning game, California time, 10:35. It'll be Reed Detmers against Garrett Whitlock, most likely Sunday at Fenway, and then Monday, the marathon day. The early game, 8:10 a.m. Pacific time. Shohei Ohtani will pitch Monday morning against Chris Sale.
It's a great pitching matchup.
Sale's pitching today for the Red Sox. Another guy we won't see in the Boston rotation is Kluber. He's pitching tomorrow. Red Sox trying to beat the Rays. Somebody's got to have to stop that train. And Tampa Bay's got rolling. There's ball 4 to Trout, so the leadoff man on again for the Angels. There's been a few leadoff walks today. The Rays are trying to get to 12-0. Only 2 teams in the modern era have ever done that. Milwaukee in 1987, the Braves in 1982. So the Rays almost there. They're at 11-0. And Jordan Walker today actually extended his hitting streak. He's had a 12-game hitting streak now to begin his major league career.
Oh, that's great to see that. I remember the excitement he had and the smile on his face when he made the team.
Washington's changing pitchers. We'll be back.
What do baseball players love the most about intentional time?
Kevin's highlights.
The interviews.
The God heaves.
Yes! Intentional time. The show baseball players love to watch. Only on MLB Network.
When it's about to go down,
This is the story of the night.
MLB Tonight takes you there.
62! How about that?
Big moments, big reactions, and big interviews. Every night, only on MLB Network's MLB Tonight.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans
And baseball players wake up to.
Show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
by OC Navigator. Day game here at Angel Stadium. That's the same guy who caught the ball earlier, I think, on that foul ball. Looks just like him. Anthony Rendon batting here in the bottom of the 7th to see where he ranks in the history of the Washington Nationals. Ryan Zimmerman is probably number 1 in the rest of those categories. So maybe batting average, but Rendon and Zimmerman and Bryce Harper, they had some great years with the Washington Nationals. Trey Turner, Juan Soto even for a short while, helping them win the World Series in 2019. They have blown that team up, and now the Nationals in a clear rebuild as Carl Edwards Jr. is on the mound for Washington. Good thing he wears number 58, or that chain would look really weird.
That's a great point, Wayne. Way to go.
See the Nationals with this patch on their jersey on their left shoulder. It's for longtime owner Ted Lerner, who passed away recently. That's why the Nationals are wearing that patch. A check swing pop up and a foul ball.
Candelaria playing way deep at third base, not anticipating that. He was way back. He said, I'm not going. I'm not even getting close. Look how far back he is. If he can get that bunt down at all, it's going to be a base hit. 279 career doubles. Take that double right now on a 1-2 count to be able to get a little add-on run here later in the game here in the 7th.
Ground ball to first. It goes by Dominic Smith into right field. Good turnaround second by Trout as he digs for third.
That was great base running by Trout. Didn't slow down, even though you might think after that you might have a shot at that. But Trout, that angle, he's about as good as anybody I've ever seen as far as cutting the angle of a base. The ball was hit hard the other way and off the glove. Smith, and look how quick Trout, he's not even in the picture. Garcia is trying to pick that baseball up, think he has a play, but this is what Trout does so well. Sees that baseball line, he's cutting that angle, and it's a little shorter line to third base, gets in there. That's a great base running technique there for Trout.
That angle doesn't even really do it justice. How sharp that turn was by Trout around second base. You really kind of need more of an overhead angle to get a great idea of how Trout cut that base and was able to get just a straight line to third. You don't see many base runners do that ever.
Especially when you're in full speed like that, you're going to have a tendency to get around the base. It's a wider turn, but he went from right at that corner of the base and straight towards third base.
Yeah, you see a lot of base runners take that wide angle. It's really a longer run that way. Trout shortens it. Now he's at third. Rendon with a slow roller. Trout electing to stay at third. They go for the out at second base, and Rendon is retired there.
You get a great view of how quick and how short that turn and the angle to go right at third base. He was almost in a direct line from second base to third base.
Now conversely, you know, Renfroe hits that soft bouncer, and Trout maybe could have tried to score there.
Yeah, you have that contact play on with usually a lot of times with the Angels with one out, but no outs right there. Have some trust in Rengifo to get the job done. Violation going.
Pitch clock violation against the pitcher Edwards. So that's ball 1 to Rengifo. You start the at bat with a 1-0 count. Seems like most of these pitch clock violations happen in before the first pitch of an at bat. Asked Patrick Sandoval about it because he had one. He said, yeah, just for a moment he lost focus about the pitch clock and had a violation. Maybe it's at the beginning of an at bat or beginning of an inning where you could have that happen.
Yeah, I think as we keep progressing in there, you had a lot of games in spring training that it's not even going to be a thought anymore for pitchers, even though there's still a few of them out there not happy about it.
2 balls and a strike.
Everybody in these stands is happy about it. I know that. In the game itself, with the runs scored, the baseballs put in play, everything so far has been really good.
Ripped to Dominic Smith at first for a double play. The second time that Rengifo has hit into a line drive double play today. That ball was scalded. And somehow Dominic Smith caught it. It was an easy out at first from there. We'll go to the 8th. Still a one-run game.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big-name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans
And baseball players wake up to.
Show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
Fenway against the Red Sox, Shohei Ohtani. He's handled the monster before, a home run over the Green Monster a couple of years ago, and last year, memorably, knocked his number off the wall. Hit the ball so hard off the monster, it slipped his number right out.
Remember in that game, he had a ton of swing and misses in the strike zone. I think it was right around 20-22 range. Had an outstanding game on the mound, too.
Beginning here for Ryan Tepera. The Angels lead remains 1. Angels pitchers have retired 12 straight as Victor Robles leads off the top of the 8th. Angels have had some chances to extend the lead. And some bad luck. We've seen that quite a bit over the first couple of weeks. Angels have hit into bad luck or had some bad luck in the field on balls that have fallen in, but Luis Rengifo has hit 2 bullets today that have resulted in line drive double plays.
Yeah, I mean, man on third base can't hit the ball any harder both times.
Even one of those had fallen in, the Angels would have a little more breathing room. 1 ball, 1 strike on Robles, followed by Call and Candelario. Here in the top of the 8th inning, Angels trying to win this series.
It's a guy you want to keep off the bases too. Can run really well.
Couldn't hold his swing, and now Tepera's even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Robles laying off. That's something he's done more this year than ever. A guy who has not walked very much in the past. A guy who strikes out a lot, but yet he has only punched out a handful of times to start the year. He's walked a handful of times too. They're loving the patience of Robles as the 3-2 comes, and Robles pops it up foul. Tepera challenges him, and Robles fouls it back. So it's still 3-2.
Ran that fastball back inside again. He had that one chase off the inside corner, came right back in on this one.
So this will be an 8-pitch at bat. Only 8 pitches thrown by Aaron Loup in the 7th as he worked a 1-2-3 inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tepera gets a big out to start the 8th, punching out Victor Robles. So 1 out, and here's a quick word from Kia.
The turbocharged, tech-inspired Kia Forte.
Always big to get that leadoff man, especially when it's a fast one like Robles. O'Hoppe going to the mound with the umpire here, Doug Eddings.
Like maybe it's pitch com.
It could be. So quick chat. Saw Blake Snell earlier today. He's ready to throw his pitch com in the garbage. Held it up to the camera and said it's terrible. Wasn't happy with the lack of communication, I guess. Alex Call looks at a strike from Tepera. No balls, 2 strikes on Call. Last night, Shohei Ohtani's been wearing the transmitter because he's calling his own game, so he's been wearing it in his sleeve. And Alfonso Marquez had no idea what it was, and then he was in for a shock. It was the pitch con.
Wait a minute, is that where all that movement's being created?
What do you think?
No, I'm just trying to have the communication with my catcher.
Maybe he thought Ohtani was an actual robot and was just checking to see if.
We all think that on occasion. That curveball he threw, what was it, in the 4th inning, whatever, that swing and miss curveball to 73? Certainly wasn't human.
It was to Keibert Ruiz. Call lays off the breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Call is 0 for 3. He's got Candelario behind him. Tepera trying to hold a 1-run lead. And there's another foul ball.
There's a slider and a sweeper, and there's Shohei.
Phil Nevin would like to stay away from Shohei today entirely. Give him 2 days off. Get him ready for Friday at Fenway. Again, the Angels don't have another off day after tomorrow until May 1st. There's ball 3.
Hasn't quite got him to chase, especially when he threw a slider for a strike the pitch before. Surprised he didn't go after that one.
So another 3-2 count. Call with a fly ball hit pretty well. Brett Phillips tracking it near the track to make the catch.
So he's been active out there in center field.
6 putouts for Phillips in center field, including 1 very good catch on a ball hit by Ruiz. And he has been a big part of the offense as well, drawing a couple of walks with a run scored and an RBI. So good day for Phillips getting his first start. Well, the Angels trying to hold on here as they lead by 1. Here's Candelario. The breaking ball from Tepera for a strike.
That's that slower slider / sweeper from Ryan Tepera.
Would imagine that Quijada would be considered the closer today. I don't think we'll see Estevez, who's pitched 3 of the last 4 days. Dominic Smith, the left-hander, on deck. Making an even better case for Quijada to pitch the 9th if it's Smith leading off. Strike 2 to Candelario.
Good arm action on this changeup on that one for Tepera. So he's used all his pitches: fastball, sweeper, slider, changeup.
Angels pitchers have really settled in ever since Washington had that string of 4 straight singles back in the 4th inning. Candelario lucky to get a piece. Canning retired the next 3 after he had those 4 straight singles allowed, and then he worked a 1-2-3 5th inning. Matt Moore pitched the 6th, retiring the side in order, and Aaron Loup the same in the 7th. Tepera trying to hold that here in the 8th inning. On 2-2, Candelario fouls off another.
Boy, that's 2 pretty good pitches in a row for Tepera. That breaking ball down and in, and then a perfect spot with a fastball away. Might have him set up for a changeup fade in a way now. But keep it off the outside corner.
Reaching out, Candelario pokes one into right field. So it's a 2-out single. It breaks a string of 14 consecutive batters retired by Angels pitchers. And it gives Dominic Smith a chance with 2 outs.
A big game so far. That was a pretty good changeup too. That was a perfect spot. Went down and got it towards the end of the bat. Just strong enough to be able to find that hole between short and second. If that shift would be on, normally that is going to be an out. So you're seeing a few more baseballs that have been hit on the ground that have found a hole.
Here's Dominic Smith. At one time he showed a lot of power when he was a New York Met. He's hit as many as 11 home runs in the big leagues. Had 16 in his highest total in the minors. O'Hoppe with a throw to first as Candelario is back in safely. Tepera has thrown a lot of pitches to only face 3 hitters and now into his 4th. This will be his 25th pitch of the inning already. Big lead at first for Candelario. And there's a strike from Tepera to make it 2-1. Joey Meneses, who has plenty of power, on deck. Nobody up right now in the Angels bullpen. This is Tepera's inning. Bouncer to first, easy for Brandon Drury, takes it to the bag, and Ryan Tepera holds the 1-run lead.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
New and included for 2023, stream all of minor league baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Home half of the 8th. We'll see if the Angels can extend their lead a bit. With a little bit more breathing room before the top of the 9th. And it is Jose Quijano warming up. And Erasmo Ramirez on the mound for Washington.
You need those little add-on runs here, the insurance runs. It's more Ramirez. Angels have seen him quite a bit over the years. Fastball, not overpowering, 90-95. Also a cutter, curveball, slider, changeup.
Here's Brandon Drury, a good day offensively for him. 2 hits and a run scored. Looks at a strike from Ramirez, who is from Nicaragua originally. Ended up living in El Salvador when he was a kid. He idolized Dennis Martinez, El Presidente.
He have the perfect game.
There's Quijada getting loose in the Angels bullpen as we expected. Erasmo Ramirez actually copied his idol Dennis Martinez. Several years ago, he had a save in one game and then started the next. He became the first pitcher to do that since El Presidente. Fly ball to left. Alex Call to retire Drury. 1 out. Here's a quick word from Jack in the Box.
Remember, 2 tacos a day keeps the hangry away. Download the Jack app and get them for 99 cents.
Bottom of the 8th. Here's Urshela. Angels clinging to a 1-run lead. It's been a well-pitched game. Let's see if Jose Quijada can finish it for the Halos. Meneses, Ruiz, and Garcia due up in the top of the 9th inning. You know, one thing about Ruiz being a switch hitter, he's much better from the left side against right-handed pitchers. So get him on his weaker side. Urshela golfs one toward Call in left, and that's 2 quick outs. Our Kia player profile, Logan O'Hoppe's got the big hit today.
That's a great job bringing his hands up and lining that baseball to right center field, bringing in another go-ahead run. Leads the majors with 5 go-ahead RBIs and 3 game-winning RBIs this young season.
He's driven in 11 overall. It's tied for the major league lead among catchers with the Dodgers' Will Smith. He looks at a strike. He's hit 4 home runs already. You go back and look through major league history at catchers in their rookie years, age 23 or younger. Not a lot of big home run years. Only 7 age 23 or younger in their rookie year have hit even 15 or more home runs. Wow. Johnny Bench in that category. Benito Santiago. Matt Noakes has the record. He hit 32 in 1987 when you guys had to throw with that rabbit ball.
Yes, I remember that one well. I think even Brett Butler, I think, had double figures in home runs that year. Known as a singles hitter and could run, but he got the double figures. Not that I remember those things and not angry.
1 ball, 2 strikes on O'Hoppe. And Matt Noakes hit 32 homers. He has the most ever by a rookie catcher. O'Hoppe's got 4 in the tank already. And the Angels would love one here to extend the lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Brett Phillips on deck, who's had a very, very good game at the plate and in the field.
There's strike 3 called. That one hitting the very top of the zone. As O'Hoppe strikes out, we'll see if Jose Quijada can hold the lead in the 9th.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
with the starting pitching of Griffin Canning, then the base running and the hustle, Brett Phillips. A couple stolen bases, then the defense. Right, Brett Phillips, Maverick making the play out in center field, and Logan O'Hoppe with the big go-ahead RBI going the other way. Giving him 11 RBIs on the season now. Here's a Quijada on the bump now for the Halos to try to close it out.
And the man they call Spicy, and I think the Angels would prefer it mild here. Just get through the top of the ninth and head to Boston. Long trip after the game today to the East Coast. Angels have 4 at Fenway starting Friday, and then 3 at Yankee Stadium next week. So far so good for Quijada, who has a save already and is looking for his second here this afternoon. We'll face the middle of the order for Washington. Joey Meneses, the DH, will lead off. Then Keibert Ruiz and Luis Garcia. Ruiz a switch hitter, Garcia a lefty. So the only true right-hander due up in this inning is leading off in Meneses. Quijada pumps in a strike, 94 miles an hour. Angels trying to stay above 500. Only other team in the AL West above that mark right now, the Texas Rangers. Well, they got some bad news today. Corey Seager is going to be out for at least a month because of a hamstring injury.
Wow. I'm always having that with it, even with the Dodgers. Leg issues, hamstring issues. It's off to a great start for the Rangers.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Quijada gets the first out here in the ninth.
That 4-seam fastball. First pitch was lower third, then back-to-back high fastballs. That one getting a swing and miss.
That brings up Keibert Ruiz, who has 2 hits today, although both from the left side, which is his stronger side. He turns around to bat right-handed here against Quijada.
His changeup, doesn't throw a ton of secondary pitches, but he will throw his changeup more than he will throw his slider, although he was working on that a lot in spring training.
Fastball catches the top of the zone there. At least as Doug Eddings saw it, and Quijada gets even with Ruiz. Popped up, should stay in play. Brandon Drury in foul ground, 2 outs. Brings up Garcia, left-handed batter, only 22 years old. His dad, Luis Garcia, briefly played in the big leagues in the late 90s. Goes after the first pitch. Hits it to guess who? Brett Phillips. He was busy today. Say goodnight to the Nationals. The Angels have won this series. It's a 3-2 final. Angels pitchers retired 18 of the last 19 batters that they faced. Jose Quijada works a 1-2-3 top of the ninth. And even though it was a slim lead, it never really felt unsafe down the stretch of this one, thanks to the Angels pitching staff.
Yeah, the bullpen was outstanding, and Griffin Canning started the game, pitched 5 quality innings. Matt Moore will pick up the W. Quijada picks up his second save. Defense was solid. Brett Phillips was so good all throughout the game, and just enough timely hitting by, especially by a Logan O'Hoppe, to go ahead run there. The Halos win the series, 7-5 record on the way back east.
The Halo will shine brightly tonight in Southern California thanks to Brett Phillips, his first start of the year, and he was certainly active in many ways today.
Yeah, a couple stolen bases, forces low throw and gets away, scores the first run of the game, and eventually comes around and walks and get another one home, so his at-bats solid throughout.
Brett Phillips, our Toyota player of the game, and he gets to chat right now with Erica Weston.
Very much, Brett. You were all over this ball game today. How much were you looking forward to an opportunity to make your imprint in a game here today with the Angels?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you fans for showing up and supporting us today. all the fans back home watching us, our fans in Japan, thank y'all. You know, for me being a fourth outfielder, it's making sure that when I'm playing, this team doesn't skip a beat. And so wherever I can be of an assistance each and every night when I'm called, that's all I'm trying to do.
You really did that. The third inning, manufacturing those runs, the 2 stolen bases, scoring on the error. How much pride do you take in your speed out there on the base path?
Yeah, you know, that's why I'm a part of this team. I can play good defense. I can base run, obviously, get this bat going, but it means a lot. You know, that's just what I'm trying to do each and every day. Bring the energy, have fun, and like I said, be an assistant where I can be.
You were that. Stealing bases or having those great catches in the outfield, what do you prefer?
I think catches in the outfield, yeah, I really enjoy that.
Nice job today, Brett. Thanks for the time.
Hey, thank you, Angel fans. Take care.
Brett Phillips.
Brett Maverick Phillips.
He's so good, that energy level, it's unbelievable.
He was the man today, and the Angels get a win 3-2 against the Washington Nationals. Griffin Canning came back, a success for him in 5 innings, allowed just 2 runs, didn't walk anybody. A good day for Canning in his first pitch, his first opportunity to pitch in the big leagues since July of 2021. For Mark Ubazine, Erica Weston, and our entire crew, I'm Wayne Randazzo. We'll talk to you soon from Fenway. Angels Live post-game show coming up next. The Angels beat the Nationals 3-2.